91 degrees.
Hold up. Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like O-A-G-Z. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babylon, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, but I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We beating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% and be trying to stun on my enemies. In my element, it's crazy, it's the mic shine. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Never switch up. 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 Keep that same energy. I'm in my element.
Salute to everybody in the building. While we coming in clear, you guys hear me? You already know I got to check in now. Man. Salute to everybody in the building one more time, man. Salute to everybody in the building. A lot to talk about today. A lot to build on today. Shout out to everybody in the building. Just want to check in, man. Is my vocals coming in clear? Do you guys hear me? Or there's any technical issues? Am I echoing? Am I coming in too low? Am I coming in distorted? Whoever's in the building, let me know, man. Audio straight today? No doubt, man. No doubt. Shout out to Jesham Wagner, man. Yeah, man. Thank God, right? New board on the way. Hopefully that'll be here by the end of the week. I have my new board on the way. But look, listen, my little audio interface here is doing the job. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna cook on this boxing, man. What a great fight. What a great night of fights last night. A great card. Cleveland shows up in rare form. And another star may have been born last night, right? We all had, listen, it's nothing like confirmation. There is nothing like it on earth, right? It's one thing to assume, it's one thing to think it's going to be some way or assume it's going to be a certain way, but there's nothing like the actual confirmation happening in the ring. And we got a chance to witness that last night with Abdullah Mason confronted with his biggest fight of his life, the most competitive fight of his life, 12 rounds, a roller coaster ride for us here watching the fight. I don't know how you guys at home felt about the fight, but a roller coaster, right? We watched a very competitive first 2 rounds, and then we just saw Albert Bell take control of this fight from round 3 to like round 7, 6, probably like round 6, right? From round 3 to round 6. And then we saw Abdullah Mason turn it up. And, he had a Terence Crawford moment where, I had to rewatch the fight today. I rewatched the fight today because, as you guys know, we was calling it last night and there was no sound over here, right? I'm calling the fight. I can't have the sound on for copyright, for copyright reasons, as well as just don't want to be influenced by the commentators on the show. We want to call the fight straight up over here. But, you know, after rewatching the fight, you saw Abdullah Mason get that notice that Terence Crawford got. The same notice Terence Crawford got when he got inside that ring with Sean Porter. He was told that he was probably down on the cards. He adjusted immediately, and it seems like that is an attribute of the champions, of the greats, right? The best of the best understand what that means when they get that instruction. They understand that it means turn it up, and he did exactly that. And just a one-sided affair from round 6 on until the fight was actually stopped, around 5 actually on until the was it 5 or 6? I don't remember what it was, what round it was, but from that round on to the end of the fight, to the ultimate stoppage that we saw happening there, what a performance for Abdullah Mason. Gained a lot of respect, and we saw a lot of different intangibles also happen in that fight. Inside of those adjustments, the relationship with him and his father and his trainer coach father, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things we saw intangibles. As well on that card, we saw Abdullah Mason and his younger brothers, right? So we saw Ibrahim and Abdur Rahman, older brother actually, in Abdul Rahman Mason, and younger brother in Ibrahim Mason. We got to see those guys show up and show out too. We got to talk about that, man. Excellent performance by a specific Mason brother, right? Like, shout out to Abdul Rahman Mason. But it seems like Ibrahim Mason, we'll talk about that as well, 130 pounds, really showed a real technical side to this whole entire Mason what would I call this whole entire Mason system, right, of producing fighters. We saw the technical side of Ibrahim Mason that really showed and proved that he may be low-key the fighter to look at coming out of that Mason camp. Now, although Abdullah Mason is holding down the front well, right, becoming a champion, the youngest champion in the space, and I mean, we have to give him all kinds of accolades for what he's been able to accomplish. But I saw something in the young bull, Ibrahim Mason, only 20 years old. We'll talk about him as well. Scooter Davis. We're gonna have to talk about Scooter Davis today, man. Listen, I went into this fight really high on Scooter Davis, right? I don't know how I felt about it leaving at the end of that fight, watching Scooter Davis. We're going to talk about that as well. There was a decision made, controversial decision involved in that fight. But more important than that controversial decision may be the real elephant in the room with it, which is something may have been exposed, right? Maybe it was just a bad night in the office for Scooter Davis, but we'll talk about that as well. We definitely got to bring that back up. We also got to talk about our guy, Tiger Johnson. Delonte Tiger Johnson puts on a masterclass introducing BOMAC, right? The BOMAC system there. You know, BOMAC, a true trainer of champions. I mean, I don't need to bring up, you know, Terence Bud Crawford and things of that nature. We know what he was able to create with him from a young bull all the way up into being potentially, arguably, the best fighter of this era in Terence Bud Crawford. Bringing in BOMAC with Tiger Johnson, questions may have been out there. What was that going to look like? Well, it looked like a masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about that, right? In a 10-round fight, Tiger Johnson absolutely dominated his opponent in Chris Guerrero and put the division on notice, right? And, you know, shout it out to his favorite fighter, Devin Haney, right? Let Devin Haney know where he stood as far as that was concerned, but also put on a masterclass. And we saw a lot of great things from Tiger Johnson last night, as Tiger Johnson has translated into the 147-pound division very well. A stronger, faster, and a fighter who's coming in with, shout out once again to Abdullah Mason, an appetite for smoke. This version of Tiger Johnson is exciting, almost pretty much must-see boxing from Tiger Johnson. What a show he did. And overall, Cleveland showed and proved, came out and showed out for their hometown fighters. Albert Bell had a great performance as well. He you know, shout out to Albert Bell in really testing the young champion in Abdullah Mason. And of course, TNT televised this event. This is the first one as a partnership we know was announced between the Zone and TNT, and this event right here kicked it off. I think they're calling it Fight Night or Fight Show or Fight Talk. I don't remember what it's called. You know what I'm saying, what it's called, but introducing Terence Bud Crawford as a commentator in on that casting, right? crew, right, of commentators of him. We had our guy Sean Porter. We had Timothy Bradley up there, of course. And I don't remember the other guy's name, but he seems like he's a TNT guy, that other guy. But he did a great job at moderating, and they did a good job at breaking down the fights, calling out all these different intangibles. I rewatched it once again. Last night I didn't get that experience, but this morning I watched it, got that experience. They delivered. TNT, we'll talk about them as well, bringing back American boxing to the television space. Yes, we have Zuffa on the Paramount side, bringing the American boxing to the space as well. But the Zone, who's there to compete, who's made a lot of big moves over the past year as far as bringing in Queensberry, bringing in Top Rank, right? Re-signing Golden Boy back to the roster, redoing their contract with Matchroom and Boxer and all these other smaller promotional entities, using the platform now and turning the Zone into the ultimate real global home of boxing. But what they were missing was that they were a stream via app platform. Right now, with this connection with TNT, although it won't be for every event, from what I understand, maybe one event a month, and we'll see what that evolves into. But this right here, seemingly last night, this showcase, this production, bringing back American boxing to the big stage, man. And I think it was a hit, man. The Zone had some technical difficulties. We'll talk about that as well. They got to work on those things, man, especially if you're going to be charging, a premium rate for people to watch on your platform. You got to get these bugs out the way. The sound going out, we've seen a couple of things over the past couple of events. There's always a little thing here and there. So we'll talk about that as well. And obviously, guys, we will open up the platform. Discord link is inside of the chat. Please hit that link, as we'll be opening that up, and we'll be able to accept the phone calls through Discord. I think I figured out what the bug and the problem was with the whole entire echoing. I'm hoping that we're able to address that today. So we'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, worst case scenario, we'll go back to doing it the old school way with the StreamYard link, right? And just bring people up on the stage, right? Shout out to everybody in the building. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, become part of the Discord community. Shout you guys out as I see you coming in. Of course, shout out to Jesho Shem Wagner. Let me know that the audio was good. The Nigerian Nightmare in the building says, salute, Brother Clay and the community. Salute, 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 man. I am 444 in the building. What's good with you? I am 444, the Turtle Island King. We're going to talk about that, 444. I need to know what the Turtle Island King thing is all about. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later, right? Definitely interested in that story. Okay. Akeem Blake in the building says, peace of the gods on earth, guidance and blessings. Why I deal with, why I say, King. Says, Clay, what up, man? What's good, man? Bruce Gas Boxing in the building. Bruce, what's good, man? Shout out to the OG. Shout out to the scholar in the building, man. Let's see here. War Chisora in the building says the Timu versions. Okay, all right. It is what it is. Big Boss in the building says, that name whooping you, Clay. That name whooping you, Clay. That name whooping you, Clay. Okay, I guess. So, Big Boss, how you doing, man? Hope everything's good. Mine yours in the building says, cool salute, Claymore, the Rain Man. What's good with you? My brother HLD in the building. What's good, family? WP 3636 in the building with the deuces. Salute to you, family. Let me see here, man. HLD says the Ohio support was the nicest part of the night. We need more grassroots events to bring regular folks in the building. 100%. And we'll talk about that as well, man. Top Rank, they did it with Keyshawn Davis. They did it with Shakur Stevenson. They've done it with all these fighters, right? And they gave Abdullah Mason the same opportunity to do that same thing, to get that hometown support. And it looks like Cleveland is 100% behind the Mason brothers, and they delivered and did their job last night as well. So, man, yeah, man, Cleveland looks like a great place to show boxing, man. It's got to convince TNT and Top Rank that, we could definitely return. And we got some up-and-coming stars. Albert Bell could rebound from this now on the back end of this performance and get some big fights down the line. We'll see how that works out for him at 135 pounds. And, of course, Tiger Johnson, has his own energy. He's bringing a certain kind of energy with him. And he has that little storyline with Devin Haney as well. And bringing Bomac into the fold makes that more interesting. I think we're going to see a lot more big shows in Cleveland, man. Heavy Chevy guy in the building says, salute, Clay. What's good with you, man? My guy, Jesho Shem Wagner, putting that color in the chat, man. $5, man. Salute to Jesho and Wagner. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Big Boss says the Abdul Rahman, say 12 times and you'll get it right. Yeah, Abdul Rahman is confusing me. I don't know. It shouldn't though, right? It really shouldn't. But I don't know if it's just in my head. It's having a hard time clicking. But we'll talk about Abdul Rahman as well, man, because his performance was straight. But once again, kind of showing that appetite for smoke, right? The Masons have an appetite for smoke in general. We saw in the second round, I believe it was, Abdul Rahman got clipped with a short left hook, really threw him off. He got hit and he was on jelly legs for a little bit and really had to recover from it. And very similar to kind of what we saw happening with Jerron Boots Ennis a little bit. And it's something about that offensive campaign. You want to balance it out. You don't want to get too offensive. You want to be responsible on your defense. And he got caught with a shot, clipped him, but I mean, dominated the guy he fought against. I mean, he really did. He beat the brakes off of the guy, but had that moment of just, I mean, Jerron Boots Ennis called it lazy. I'll say a lapse of judgment, a little complacency, got him caught with a shot. He has to work on that. But look, 3 fights, 3-0 now in his career. I mean, prospect, is that an understatement? So I'll expect to see the adjustments happen with him. I mean, we see the adjustments that happen with Abdullah Mason. We'll talk about that as well, of course, right? Bringing that full circle. Shout out to everybody in the building. So where do we start, man? Where do I start my little soliloquy before I open up the lines here and bring people on the show? Because that's what this show is about on Sunday. It is about you guys. It's about the engagement, right? And that's why we do these shows. But listen, man, I'll start it at the beginning, man. Let's start it with the opening fight here. Just off the head here, Abdul Rahman Mason. Really, listen, man, the Mason brothers have a brand about them at this point. We understand through Abdullah Mason, what we watched him do in the past couple of years, what the Mason system looks like. You got the Bozy Ennis system. You got the Mason system. You got the Robert Garcia system, right? You got the Andy Lee system, a Ben Davidson system. You know what I mean? You got Sugar Hill system, right? All these different systems that come together. Bomac as well, right? And you can kind of see it on the fighters because they've earned a name as far as the trainers are concerned. They've earned a reputation as far as what they bring out to the table. And I think the Mason brothers showed last night that there is a branding, right? There is a standard of boxing pedigree that we see coming out of that stable. And without a doubt, that angle brings in the excitement part of the sport, the must-see part of the sport, right? They're very offensive, and we love to see fighters like that. Abdul Rahman really showcased that in that first opening of the card, right? Really opened the card and set the building on fire with the way he performed. I'm interested and intrigued on continuing to see him develop. I think he came up last night at 135, maybe that's where he came out and campaigned at. And we know his brother's in the same division, but they're in 2 separate conversations, right? So by the time he gets into that top 10 conversation of becoming a champion and things of that nature, I'm sure Abdullah Mason will have finished his campaign at 135 pounds and probably make his way up to 140 pounds. And we'll talk about that a little later as well when we talk about Abdullah, because how much longer are we seeing him there at 135 and what really has to be there for him at 135 for him to make sense, for him to stay at 135 as he's continuing to develop, but also a champion in his own right. We'll talk about that as well. But keeping it on Abdul Rahman Mason, really showcasing that appetite for smoke, but that pocket was collapsing on him, right? He was allowing that to happen. Sometimes he would jump in with his shots, looking for those big shots, and he ended up tied up with a fighter. We're going to give him his respect. The fighter he was in the ring with, what was his name here, by the way? Let me see if this thing's going to ask me to 1 second here. What was the fighter's name that Abdullah Mason was in? Not Abdullah, that Abdul Rahman was in was in there with. Hold on a second here. Resubmit. Let's see here. What is this? Resubmit. Okay, let's try to do it like this. Welcome to. Okay. Okay, obviously there's a problem. BoxRec has a whole different approach to it now, man. Who was Abdul Rahman in the building with here? Abdulrahman Mason fought against Alvaro Huzar Cabral last night. A very come forward Mexican fighter. I feel like it was the energy. I mean, I know he says American based, but I guess he comes out of Colorado. Oh man, maybe he's like American Indian or something like that. But I mean, he was a fighter who came in with one fight, one loss, one fight last night and caught that loss last night. But he was very aggressive, very unorthodox, not unorthodox, but just very wily, very aggressive. And it took a minute for Abdul Rahman to really get a control of what that guy was bringing to the table. But the pocket was collapsing a lot on him. And the way he reacted to it, maybe more importantly, was that he decided to go ahead and tap into that appetite for smoke energy that he has. And, a lot of trading going on there, mostly obviously from the Mason side, really dominating the fight in multiple ways. But in a moment in the second round, there was a little bit of lapse of judgment or a little bit of complacency that ended up getting Abdul Rahman clipped, right? And he kind of caught the J legs, got it together though, and put a one-sided beating on him for the rest of that fight, as well as for the first round of that fight. So it is what it is. We'll be looking forward to see him, Abdul Rahman, no doubt. Abdul Rahman. Shout out HLD1. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really going to be interested in seeing what he does, man. I think overall, though, you're going to want to see that. I'm expecting to see the Mason brothers on these cards together. Wherever Abdullah is at, I'm expecting his younger brothers to be in there, and I'm expecting good things to come out of there. As far as the youngest brother in there, the Ibrahim Mason, the youngest brother, because Abdul Rahman is actually an older brother to Abdullah Mason. Ibrahim really was the one who stood out for me last night in the Mason brothers. He's really the one who put on that real life masterclass performance. I mean, his shot selection, very patient, working behind that jab, very defensively responsible, very aware of controlling that range, very aware of that, not collapsing the pocket ever, man. Just really taking his time, breaking down the opponent he had in front of him. And I believe his name was Eric Hanley, something like that, right? Eric Hanley came in the ring here. Let me see, with one win, one loss as well. Ibrahim put on a masterclass and just separated himself very early in that fight. And I'm very intrigued to see what he does at 130 pounds. Right now, 130, you're looking at, maybe like a Zaquin Moses, these fighters, right? But maybe a Camaro Moulton might campaign at a 130 or 135. We'll see where Camaro Moulton actually ends up campaigning at. These guys are part of that class. And listen, Scooter Davis not too far off, right? Scooter Davis campaigning at 135 right now. But listen, that's nothing. That's one division apart. It's nothing to see these guys see each other eventually be in the same division at some point or another. And you're going to want to see these technical fighters fight against these real puncher fighter type of styles, or even against, that Mexican style of boxing. These guys will be great dance partners for those fighters, right? So Ibrahim definitely stepped it up and showed improved where he was. So that was a prelim card. Opening the main card was Scooter Davis. Scooter Davis is another story, right? Going into this fight, I think a lot of us were very excited to see Scooter Davis debut, opening up a main card, just signed with Top Rank, really got an opportunity to be on the big stage here. And Scooter Davis, I mean, even on the entry, walking into the ring, was very excited. A lot of energy, really mesmerized the crowd. The crowd was very excited to see Scooter Davis in the building. And we thought we were getting ready to see one of the first, really action-packed fights on the card behind Scooter Davis. Scooter Davis in the ring with, and this guy deserves his name to be announced here, Carlos Ramos, right? So Derek Scooter Davis versus Carlos Ramos. Carlos Ramos came into this fight 18 wins, 3 losses, you know what I'm saying? Coming out of Spain, right? And at first, looking at Carlos Ramos, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really know how to process who he was going to come in as. Was he going to be the boxer, boxer puncher? Was he going to be like a Mexican or an Argentinian style approach, just coming forward in that high guard and looking to do all of those things? I mean, he does come from Ecuador. That's really his background. He's boxing out of Spain, but he's, a native of Ecuador. I was very surprised at this guy last night. Really stood on his business, really boxed, took his time, came in with that southpaw approach to the fight, and really looked like he was giving Scooter Davis a lot of problems very early, taking away Scooter Davis's momentum very early in the fight, where it looked like Scooter Davis may have been waiting too long, kind of being a little too patient with the fighter that was in front of him, and giving Carlos Ramos an opportunity to really get his jab working and really time out his left hand and use that left hand and use the full real estate of the ring, as it didn't seem like Scooter Davis was really cutting the ring off properly, really doing an effective job of cutting that ring off, and got exposed, lost the lion's share of the rounds, in my opinion. I don't remember what my scorecard was exactly, but I had him, what was it, an 8-round fight? An 8-rounder, I had, Scooter down like maybe 6 rounds to 2. You know what I'm saying? I really had Scooter Davis being outclassed last night. That, we saw what the judges did, and everybody went crazy over what the judges did. And welcome to the traditional space of boxing. Just welcome to boxing in general, right? The politics of the sport is what it is. Scooter Davis is the top ranked fighter. That is a top rank card. So, the cooking could be in there, right? And obviously the decision, I completely adamantly disagree with the decision. But more importantly, on the back end of the decision of that fight was what got exposed with Scooter Davis. Scooter Davis looking like he has a lot to go work on, right? Him and Barry Hunter need to go back to the drawing board. Although they were gifted a victory, the question is, will it be the gift and the curse? Will it be the gift and the curse for Scooter Davis? And what I mean by that is, try to hang with me and understand where I'm coming from here, is it will be a gift if they take this victory, but when they get to the gym, they acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is the reality was, Scooter, you really looked really bad in that fight. And, we don't even need to get into whether or not you won or you lost the fight. We can go with the judge's decision and say that you won the fight, fine. But in reality, how does the way you approach that fight against this guy we never heard of in Carlos Ramos, how does that approach look like as we start to step up the fights for you? I mean, we're talking about a fighter who has superstar qualities, right? Even in the skill set. I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I've seen too much from Scooter Davis in other fights to sit here and start to play the game that he's a hype job or he's not as good as we thought he was. Boxing is about knowledge versus wisdom, right? And that's what it's about for me at all times. What I mean by that is, it's about the knowledge, what you know, what you've learned, what you understand, but also wisdom, which is the ability to wield what you've learned in the knowledge. And I think in the wisdom section of this conversation is where Scooter Davis fell short, right? He fell short in his ability to pick and choose when he was going to box versus when he was going to fight, reading the room properly. In an 8-round fight, at what point do you make a decision to say, you know what? I'm going to be honest with myself and say, I don't like the way the fight is going. I've got to step it up. And here's the adjustments that we're going to make. That's between him, his team, his corner with Barry Hunter and all those guys, for them to get on that same page. I'm expecting that to develop. And that's what I'll be looking forward in Scooter Davis's next fight, to see where he's made those adjustments, right? That's what you want to see from Scooter Davis. Moving on from Scooter Davis, what fight did we jump in from there? Was it the Tiger Johnson fight at that point? I believe it was a Tiger Johnson fight. It should have been a Tiger Johnson fight, right? Let me see here. Let's see here. Yeah. Moving into that fight was Tiger Johnson versus Christopher Guerrero. This fight right here was, honestly, this is where the card became very interesting, right? I mean, I think the main event, the co-main event, and this fight right here, which would be the co-main event, if you want to look at it like that, were really the very interesting fights that were going to be on the card. Delonte Johnson, campaigning at 147. Guys, we remember him from 140 pounds. He made his move up to 147, and all of a sudden it started to bring this appetite for smoke, his punching power, the punching, the athleticism, everything just exponentially grew for Tiger Johnson in division. But he went through some trainers, right? The trainer he had in that fight, he moved on to his next fight with Boca Chica, switched up his trainer, right? Well, no, he went from Boca Chica with one trainer, then went into the Nicholas Flaus fight with another trainer, was able to stop Nicholas Flaus, right? Hold on, no, let's pull it up, because there was actually one fight I'm missing here. I'm definitely missing a fight here. That's the fight I'm missing. He started off with Kendo Castaneda. That was that fight. And in that fight, he was able to stop Kendo Castaneda inside that 5th round. Goes into the Figueroa Boca Chica fight with the same trainers from that fight. Got a unanimous decision against Boca Chica. Didn't like the chemistry or didn't like what was going on with his trainer from that situation, and switched it up to another trainer going into the Nicholas Flaus fight. He was able to stop Nicholas Foss pretty early. 4th round dominated him, right? In the fight that he went in as an underdog, which I thought was interesting that they made him the underdog. But hey, it is what it is, right? He stopped Nicholas Foss. And shout out to Nicholas Foss, who's a great fighter. I wouldn't have said that Foss would be the underdog, but I thought that was more of a 50-50 fight than Tiger Johnson coming in as an underdog type of situation. But he was able to stop Nicholas Foss. So going into this fight here, after picking up a vacant WBO, NABO welterweight title, he goes into this fight to fight for a vacant IBF American welterweight title, as well as a WBC Continental America welterweight title against Christopher Guerrero, a game fighter who is undefeated, coming out of that Canadian space. But I didn't really know Christopher Guerrero that well, right? Now, not that well. I know I've seen him in 1 or 2 fights, but didn't really know what to process from him. Tiger Johnson brought in Bomac as well into his camp. So that became very interesting. Bomac has earned himself a lot of respect. When you see Bomac in the corner of a fighter, take a closer look at what you're seeing, because you might end up seeing something special in the fighter. And Tiger Johnson, somebody who has a very good amateur pedigree, an Olympian, I believe. Don't quote me on that. He may have tried. Did he make it? Don't quote me on that, right? But a big time amateur pedigree, I could definitely tell you on that. So he has that foundation to where Bomac, who is, in my opinion, a technical trainer, right? A trainer who you've seen what he did with Keyshawn Davis, you've seen what he did with Terence Crawford. So Tiger Johnson, in my opinion, has those tools. He brings those elements to the stage, and that is something that Bomac can work with. And what we saw from Tiger Johnson last night was a confident, patient boxer puncher with a great jab, a real fast, straight jab, power jab, and also the ability to set up his shots and put those combinations together. Great body work. Really put on a masterclass, in my opinion, against a Chris Guerrero who was really forced to keep his hands in the pocket for the first half of the fight. And then we saw Christopher Guerrero turn it up as he knew he was down on the cards. And we saw Tiger Johnson dismantle that, right, and break that down as well. Guerrero had some shiny moments in the fight. He hit Tiger Johnson with some clean shots. There was some opportunities in there that Guerrero was able to take advantage of. But for the most part, Tiger Johnson dominates Christopher Guerrero and puts the 147-pound division on notice, right? He really just calls out everybody and anybody in and around the division around him, whether it's Rohan Polanco, whether it's Brian Norman Jr., or all the way to the top of the food chain like a Devin Haney, right? Who I think is the best welterweight in boxing today in Devin Haney. Delonte Johnson, listen, he made an argument for himself to be in any one of those fights, right? Does he win all those fights? I wouldn't say the performance last night tells me he wins all those fights, but a great dance partner in Tiger Johnson, and a future champion, in my opinion, at 147. When you look at the landscape of 147, I can see Tiger Johnson becoming a champion in that division, right? And we're watching boxing develop this way as well, right? Even as we're going to get into the conversation of what's going on at 126 with Shushu and 135 with Abdullah Mason, Tiger Johnson himself made a great argument for take me seriously, told Top Rank through his performance, match me up correctly, get me in the conversation. Ohio showed up. They know me. Look how the building is rumbling. They love the way I put in the work. They know who I am. And I'm expecting Top Rank to take heed to that notice they got put on and do the right thing by Tiger Johnson. Let's see how they move him on the back end of that performance. Now we go into the co-main event of the night, which was Bruce Shushu Carrington. And listen, let's make no secrets and have no qualms about it. Bruce Shushu Carrington is one of my favorite fighters in boxing today. So I was very excited to see the native New Yorker, current WBC 126-pound champion, come in and show up and show out. He had a very gamed opponent in front of him in Rene Palacio. Rene Palacio sharing a common opponent with Bruce Carrington in what's my guy's name, man? I'm having a brain fart right now. Rene Palacio. What was the opponent's name that I gave you so much respect for here? Let me see here. I think it's Sagawa, right? Yeah, Suleiman Sagawa. Yeah, Suleiman Sagawa. In a great fight where Suleiman Sagawa gave Bruce Carrington really a lot of fits, different looks that really did not show the best of Shushu Carrington, in my opinion, was a very important fight in Shushu Carrington's resume because it really changed up things for Shushu, who had to go back a little bit, dial it back a little bit. He kind of got used to stopping everybody and putting in those type of performances, and all of a sudden, found himself in a situation where he was in a ring with a great boxer who was able to move around, control the range, and really force him to go into his bag and really squeak out a victory that some people thought he lost. I'm not one of them. I thought Bruce won that fight against Sulaiman Sagawa. But regardless, Rene Palacio does the exact opposite. He gets in the ring with Sulaiman Sagawa and dominates him. Great fight, but really dominates Sagawa. So that put him in the conversation and made it a very interesting fight between him and Bruce Carrington going into the fight, right? Coming into that fight with at the time undefeated record, right? At 18-0. 10 knockouts, and we wanted to see what he was going to be able to bring to the table. We knew that he was a fighter who loved the fight. He was into the fight. He had a boxing acumen about him, but he was really about the fight. Shushu coming off of a fight of the year candidate fight on a knockout of the year performance against Carlos Castro, right? And this is the fight where he fought for that vacant 126-pound WBC title and put the world on notice as well, as we watch him just continue to develop and be one of the leaders in the conversation of the young guns in boxing today. This fight, how is Shushu going to approach this fight? Shushu's gotten a lot of criticism for how he approached the fight, even from the pundits in the space, the legends in the game, the Sean Porters, the Terence Crawfords, right? The Tim Bradley said, listen, you got to do more. We expect more of you, as he was able to really just outbox Rene Palacio for a lion's share of that fight, really just touch him with anything he threw at him, but was very reserved in the way he approached the fight, very reserved in the way he took his chances. Didn't want to, almost like very risk adverse, right? Didn't want to deal with the idea of getting hit with something unexpected. We saw in that fight with Carlos Castro that Castro was able to hurt Shushu. So in this fight here, Shushu chose to be way more reserved, and the crowd did not appreciate it, right? The crowd definitely did not appreciate the performance that Shushu brought to the table, right? A lot of booing, and even in the chat, as we were calling the fight last night, a lot of Boo York and Boo Carrington, right? Instead of Shushu, it was boo, right? All these things. Hey guys, man, it is what it is. Styles make fights. I want to give a lot of credit to Rene Palacio for really putting together, really hitting that second gear in the second half of the fight, and was able to hurt Shushu to the body. A beautiful left hook to the liver of Shushu Carrington, which really just crippled Shushu in that 11th round and really put him in a bad position to where he kind of was forced to guard that body, right? He was forced to guard that body and allow Rene Palacio to get off a lot of good combination punching. But Shushu, being somewhat of a I'm not going to say a veteran, but just very experienced in boxing, was able to manage all of that energy and ultimately get through to the 12th round and, won a lion's share of the rounds, in my opinion. Really dominated and put on somewhat of a masterclass as far as boxing was concerned, but the fight wasn't there, right? Shushu shown the ability in the Carlos Castro fight, and early in his career, his professional career, shown his ability to really bring the fight when it's time to bring the fight. And he didn't hit that extra gear. He didn't hit that next level. Maybe he planned on doing it in the championship rounds and he wasn't able to because he got hurt to the body. I don't know. I'm still very high on Shushu Carrington. Very excited to see what he does in his next steps. I'm going to assume just the person who I've become accustomed to seeing fight inside the ring, and the person who I talked to before, and I kind of understand his temperament. I would say that in his next fight, he's going to look to probably get it back and double up, right? He's going to hit you double for your trouble, right? He's going to try to make up for this fight and capitalize on getting that momentum back on his side as far as a must-see fighter. We know what the big conversation is at 126 pounds. The big conversation is, when is Monster Inoue going to make it in the division? And these fighters all playing their position, always, all of them want to be in the conversation for getting that big money payday and big legacy shot at Monster Inoue. So I'm expecting Shushu to do great things. Here's another point of conversation for Shushu, though, at this point, which is at 126 pounds, last night he looked like a pretty big fighter in the ring, right? That's what I saw. I saw a big fighter in the ring. And during the weight cut, I saw a fighter who was working hard to cut weight. I didn't see a fighter who was easily making weight like I've seen him do it in the past. And listen, man, these guys are all young guys, right? These guys are growing, they're cutting the weight, and it becomes more difficult as you get older. Shushu getting closer to that 30-year-old mark, that metabolism isn't hitting the same. After a while, the question has to become, what's holding you at 126? And I think the obvious elephant in the room is the unification in Monster Inoue. Let's get another belt. Let's unify. Let's become as attractive as we can for Monster Inoue so that when he shows up at 126, it only makes sense that he fights me. And that's the conversation Shushu wants to be a part of. The big question is going to be, what does the rest of the division think, guys, right? What does Rafael Espinosa think about that unification conversation? What does Angelo Leo think about that unification conversation? Even Brandon Figueroa, what does he think about that unification conversation? I think Brandon Figueroa is a fighter who I'll speak for and co-sign and say he's game. He's a game opponent, and I could see him picking up that fight with Shushu Carrington. Now, rumors have circulated before Canelo Alvarez, that September Mexican Independence Day fight in Riyadh got pushed out to October. The rumor was that Brandon Figueroa and Rafael Espinosa may have been in conversations on making a fight for a unification at 126. Now, on the back end of what's been said about Canelo Alvarez versus Christian Mbili being pushed out to October, is that still the same situation for Brandon Figueroa and Rafael Espinosa? And if it's not the same situation, can Shushu Carrington find himself an opportunity in the midst of that? We're in July. So what, July, August, September, October. That gives Shushu Carrington about 3 months right there. I don't think he took a lot of damage in that fight, although he got touched to that body. Can we see Shushu Carrington get into that conversation of a unification between one of those fighters there, right? Or maybe even can he pick up something with Angelo Leo, who just had a fight that canceled on him? So he's looking for a fight. He's looking for the activity. These guys have to get past having voluntary defenses, and I think move forward in the conversation of big unifications. And let's see if we can get an undisputed champion at 126 pounds. We haven't seen a unified undisputed champion. We haven't seen a unified champion at 126 since, I believe somebody was saying Marquez or something like that, like some 20 years ago or something like that, and haven't seen an undisputed champion in, well over 30, whatever plus years at 126, right? So that's the conversation Shushu wants to be a part of. If Shushu can't get that type of talk, if they can't talk to Shushu right, if they can't give him the right conversation and make it make sense, then at some point or another, the question is, when will Shushu just finally look at 130, right? He has a WBC title. He can leverage that title to get into the conversation of potentially fighting maybe a O'Shaquie Foster, right? I know O'Shaquie Foster is in the conversation of trying to unify right now and become a lineal champion and fight Emmanuel Navarrete, right? But worst case scenario, at some point or another, you got to think O'Shaquie Foster is looking to make a move to 135. He's already touched it, picked up an interim title, and came back. He's already asking to fight Shakur Stevenson, and even has told the world he's willing to go up as high as 140. So how long is he going to be at 130? Does Shushu end up leaving the division and going up to 130 if 126 doesn't start acting right? Because how many more regular title defenses or mandatories is he really trying to do? How much money is he making down there at 126 if there's no real chance of unifying or becoming undisputed at 126? How much longer will Shushu Carrington hold out in that division, right? We'll see how that plays out. Now, shout out to everybody in the building, man. Let's talk a little bit about the main event before I open up the lines here. Abdullah Mason versus Albert Bell. This one, guys, was one for the books here on the back end of seeing Xander Zayas and Jerron Boots Ennis putting on the performance they did last week. This one right here, I told you guys I had a feeling was going to deliver in a way to where this was the fight I think we wanted to see between Xander and Jerron Boots Ennis, right? We wanted to see the boxer in Xander Zayas carry it the way Albert Bell was carrying it. And we want to see the puncher boxer, athletic fighter in Jerron Boots Ennis carry it the way Abdullah Mason carried it, right? We thought we might see a fight that way, right? We don't know if Xander was capable of giving the performance that Albert Bell did, but the performance Xander gave us was so far from where we thought he would give us a performance. It almost robbed us of a certain stylistic clash that we was looking forward to see. But this one right here looked like it was primed to deliver on that level. Now, we know the story behind this fight. We know that Abdullah Mason had 10 days to really get this fight together, a last-minute replacement on the back end of Joe Cordina not being able to get his visa approved based on certain things he had going on or certain situations he got himself into in the UK. And last-minute replacement, Albert Bell, a fighter who was getting ready to fight against Andy Cruz for an eliminator fight for an IBF title, an eliminator for an IBF title, was already preparing to fight a high-level Olympian boxer. And we know that Abdullah Mason was getting ready to perform against a Joe Cordina that I don't believe is on the level of Albert Bell on certain points of the game, right? Not to mention the experience that these guys had in front of each other, Abdullah Mason and Albert Bell, with the sparring and them both being from Ohio. It seemed like they had a great relationship. Both of them were Muslim brothers, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, a lot of respect for each other. And the question going into that fight was going to be a couple of them. Number one, on the back end of seeing Abdullah Mason fight against Sam Noakes, we saw Abdullah Mason weather a real tough storm, become a champion. But I also, let me not speak for the community, I also understood that I wanted to see some adjustments from Abdullah Mason. I thought he got hit too much. I thought that appetite for smoke kind of got in his way. I saw the communication between him and his father, the trainer, and the fighter relationship wasn't as solid in that fight. As when things got tough, Abdullah Mason kind of went rogue and went on his own game plan and didn't really listen to his corner as much as he probably should have. I think most people who saw that fight between him and Sam Noakes felt like that fight could have been a lot easier for Abdullah Mason. He could have boxed this guy a lot more, control the range, use his legs a little bit more, walk him into shots, and probably maybe even gotten a stoppage on Sam Noakes if he was able to set him up a little bit better, not get caught up in all the tie-ups and all that inside fighting that he was doing with Sam Noakes that allowed him to put his hands on Sam Noakes a lot, but also in reverse gave Sam Noakes a lot of opportunity to put hands on him. I wanted to see those adjustments. I wanted to see him listening to his corner a little bit more. I wanted to see how he was going to deal with the boxer, the mover, right? I wanted to see how he's going to cut off the ring. How was he going to deal with that adversity? We saw Jerron Boots Ennis, and I bring that full circle, guys. You're going to continue to see me bringing up Jerron Boots Ennis because I think Abdullah Mason and Jerron Boots Ennis have a very similar type of trajectory, right? Very athletic, very explosive, very offensive, first-minded, very, both of them have a real appetite for smoke, right? We wanted to see those adjustments, and I wanted to see those adjustments for Jerron Boots Ennis as well, based on fights he had with a mover like in Karen, and also the fact that he got hit a little bit more than I like him getting hit. I wanted to see him become more defensively responsible. And when I thought Xander was going to be able to provide that for Boots, he didn't approach the fight that way. But Albert Bell was going to test Abdullah Mason. I think all of us understood that Albert Bell was going to test Abdullah Mason in that way. And a lot of people picked Albert Bell to win this fight. People in the chat really picked him to win this fight. I knew it was going to be a competitive fight, and I wasn't going to be shocked if Abdullah Mason lost the fight, but I picked Abdullah Mason to win the fight. I figured in the later rounds, once he was able, if he approached the fight correctly, I was expecting him to touch that body, work on that body for at least the first half of that fight, slow down the mover, the boxer in Albert Bell, and then once he was able to slow him down, pick up the pace and able to walk him into some big shots. I thought it was going to be a lead right hook that was going to do the work. I think we all saw what happened in the championship rounds. It was that left hook of Abdullah Mason that kept coming back and touching at Albert Bell, putting him down, hurting him, and breaking his nose somewhere around the sixth, seventh round. Broke his nose. The breathing got thrown off. The body work ended up paying out in great dividends against Albert Bell that Abdullah Mason was putting on Albert Bell. And what we saw was what we saw. We saw a fighter who was down. On my card, I have it right here still. I gave Abdullah Mason the first two rounds. Very close contested rounds, but I gave them both to him. I gave Albert Bell round 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those straight rounds, 4 straight rounds I gave to him. But once Abdullah Mason, there was a moment in this fight where Abdullah Mason's corner spoke to him, very similar to what happened with Terence Bud Crawford when he was fighting against Sean Porter, and he got the word that he may have been down on the cards. Abdullah Mason got the same exact heads up, and this is where Abdullah Mason steps up and becomes quite frankly, one of the best 135 pounders in the division, maybe even the best one, right? I mean, I think Raymond Morataya would be a very complicated fight for him. I think Raymond Morataya is very technically sound, and Abdullah did get exposed a little bit on a technical level. Albert Bell was able to show and prove that, on a technical level, there are some holes there that are available to be exploited by the right fighter getting in ring with Abdullah Mason. But he showed that he was able to hit that second gear, and that when it became time for him to really turn it up, that he could do that he could hit that second gear, rev the engine up, hit the nitrous booster, and show improve on a different level. And if the fighter in front of him isn't there conditioning wise, isn't there mentally, they're not going to be able to hang with that type of energy that Abdullah Mason showed up and showed out in, right? He really turned up in that second half of that fight, and I had him winning every single round up until the stoppage in round 12, right? And he got 2 knockdowns in round 12. Literally, he got that word, I believe it was in round, literally in round 10, right? No, round 11. It was in round 11. They thought he was down. My co-host Angela Reyes thought he was down, right? Thought that he was on the verge of getting ready to lose that fight. Abdullah Mason reacted, came out, immediately hit Albert Bell with a big left hand, put Albert Bell down, put a bunch of punches together, put Albert Bell down. Albert Bell beats the count, gets up on his feet, and honestly, Abdullah Mason just turned up in that 12th round and just ended up putting him down again. Controversial decision on him being put down, and a controversial decision on the stoppage, because myself, as much as I had Abdullah Mason at this point up, literally, I had Abdullah Mason up, what was it? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I had him up 7 rounds at that point to 4, right? I had him up 7 rounds of 4. He was going to be up, obviously, 8 rounds of 4 on that round right there. And with those 2 knockdowns, even if, obviously, on the scorecards, 2 of the judges matched my scorecards, Abdullah Mason would have won on the scorecards regardless. But I do think that the ref got involved in the conversation. And I don't like when the referees do that, right? I don't like when the referees, without being invited, jump into conversations and put a certain asterisk on a fight that doesn't need to be there. I did not think Albert Bell was so hurt that he couldn't finish the round off, or that he couldn't continue. There were arguments there that the knockdown was even official, that Abdullah Mason was leaning on him a little bit as Albert Bell was trying to reach for Abdullah Mason's legs and really trying to hold on to him and not fall down, because Abdullah hurt him with that left hand. But ultimately, I thought a 10 count was worthwhile seeing, right? Let's see, an 8 count, should I say, worthwhile seeing. And if the referee felt after that 8 count, he assessed and saw Albert Bell and didn't think he was built to continue to fight, then stop it. But I really thought he took an opportunity away from even Abdullah Mason to getting a real stoppage, right? Really stopping this guy in a spectacular way. And also, Albert Bell deserved an opportunity after competing the way he did, dominating a lion's share of the first half of the fight. Give him an opportunity to show and prove that he can do something. You never know what can happen. Maybe he puts Abdullah Mason down. There's history there between Abdullah Mason and Albert Bell. And there's a story floating around that, in a couple of the sparring matches that they had, that Albert Bell was able to hurt Abdullah Mason, right? So, you give the fighter a benefit of the doubt in a situation like that. He didn't take a world beating per se, right? He was just, the conditioning started to show up bad in him. And, he was losing the last couple of rounds straight and doing a lot of clinching as well. A lot of tying up. I'll say that as well, even to a point where I thought the referee probably should have given a warning to Albert Bell, but it is what it is. I don't think it changes anything too much. Very interesting, though, on the post-fight interview that was done, and not the one inside the ring. The one inside the ring was okay, but the one that was done on the stage, right behind the desk with Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, and Tim Bradley, Abdullah Mason spoke to what we were looking at in the fight and spoke to sparing, right? He said he thought he was sparing Albert Bell in the first half of the fight. He didn't want to do certain things to him. I don't know what that was all about. I thought that was very, I didn't like the sound of that. And that's what happens when you get these good friends. And when there's too much respect in the ring, it gets in the head of these fighters. And if for 1 minute Abdullah Mason wasn't committing to his offense or really trying to get this guy out of here, if he truly felt like he could have done it early, he has to work on that, and shout out to Albert Bell, who said it at the end of the fight. There ain't no brothers in boxing, right? and I know a lot of people will call hypocrite here because I respect that Shakur Stevenson won't fight Keyshawn Davis, but at least they won't fight each other, right? At least they're not going to get in the ring with each other and give a performance to where it looks like a sparring match. And not to say that that was necessarily looking like a sparring match, but once again, what Abdullah Mason said rang differently, resonated differently in my mind. And I didn't really like the sound of that, right? But look, he turns up in the championship rounds. He gets Albert Bell out of there. What's next for Abdullah Mason? What makes sense for him at this point? He's been in 2 tough fights, one with Sam Noakes, a hard body 12 rounds, and then another hard body 12 rounds with Albert Bell, man. There's still Joe Cordina there, who, from what I understand last night, is still the mandatory for Abdullah Mason. So I guess that's a fight that he's probably going to be having to get ready for. I thought about it at first last night. I was like, why do that? Because I guess I was giving Joe Cordina a lot of respect. And I was like, damn, why give Abdullah Mason another tough fight? But in all reality, there's a good chance that that fight's not going to be tough, right? After you've been through the gauntlet with Sam Noakes, after you've been in there with a boxer like Albert Bell, you got to think Abdullah Mason has just become better just based off of iron sharpening iron. I don't know that Joe Cordina has seen anybody who's as athletic, who's as explosive, who's as powerful, and who's as experienced at this point at 135 as Abdullah Mason. I mean, the last time I seen Joe Cordina in a fight with a very explosive fighter was against Anthony Kakachi, and we saw what ended up happening in that fight. Maybe that fight might not be such a bad idea, but at the end of the day, more importantly, as we're looking at the 135-pound landscape, we're seeing things moving around right now as a whole new generation and guard is starting to take place inside 135. We're seeing Floyd Schofield Jr. looks like he's going to get his opportunity to fight for a vacant WBA title against Lucas Body. I think the WBA, don't quote me, because last time I thought this happened, it turned out it didn't. But I'm thinking that I'm hearing Gervonta Tank Davis might be put in recess, right? It might be official that he's no longer actively the WBA champion, that there is a vacant belt out there to be picked up, and we'll be looking at potentially Lucas Body and Floyd Schofield Jr. figuring that out. August 1st, we've got coming up with Lamont Roach, right, who's going to be fighting against William Zepeda for a vacant WBC title. Another young blood in the building doing this thing. And then, of course, we got Raymond Morataya holding that IBF title. But, guys, Andy Cruz was getting ready to fight for an eliminator against Albert Bell. So let's see what ends up happening with that, because Raymond Morataya, for the most part, looks like a fighter who's primed and ready to go to 140 pounds. So we might have a young guard of champions at 135. We might, in a crazy world, you might find Andy Cruz as the IBF top champion, maybe Floyd Schofield Jr. as the WBA champion, and the winner between Lamont Roach and William Zepeda as a WBC champion. We might see some real unifications getting ready to happen at 135. And right now, with that performance Abdullah Mason put out last night, you got to favor him in a lot of those fights, right? Not all of them, all difficult fights, but you got to be excited to see potential unification between Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield Jr., or unification between an Andy Cruz and a Lamont Roach, right? Or a Lamont Roach and a Floyd Schofield Jr. or Abdullah Mason. And you're working with me here, right? You got to be excited at the potential of 135 right now with everything coming together. So I'm excited to see that, right? It is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and let me look in the chat, by the way. I know you guys have been cooking and doing y'all thing, and I've been sitting here just running my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Running through these fights, man. Shout out to No Problem in the building, says his name derives from Abdul, meaning servant, and Al-Rahman, meaning the entirely merciful. So Abdul Rahman is a servant of entirely merciful. Abdullah meaning servant of Allah. No doubt, man. No doubt, man. No doubt. Rich Reloaded in the building says, Young Dula. No doubt. Rich Reloaded, what's good with you? Scooter for sure lost that fight. Yeah, man. Without a doubt, man. No Problem says Bomac with Tiger Johnson is a good match. Thus far, man. Thus far, I like what I saw in Tiger Johnson. A lot of patience last night. A lot of poise, right? Really, really just showed a certain professional acumen last night that I can't help but acknowledge Bomac in that conversation. Not to say that he was somebody who wasn't professional before, but I mean, the communication between them in the corner, all those different things really showed up and showed out in a great way, right? Jay Grant Jr. in the building said, salute to Clay. What's up with you, man? WP 3636 said, yes, smart decision via Tiger to hire Bomac. So, yes, smart decision via Tiger to hire Bomac. Quote, you sad, brother. Oh, yeah. That's when Bomac got into it with two-tone, right? No doubt. Dwayne Styles in the building with the salute. Salute back at you, man. WP 3636 says Shushu got knocked down. Harvey Doc cheating per usual. I don't think Shushu got knocked down. I know what you're talking about. I don't feel like it was a knockdown with that. You know, it was a rabid punch. I mean, to a degree, it was a knockdown, right? I would say that punch on the top of his head did have something to do with him falling down, but it was a rabid punch, man. I don't know, right? It was definitely on the back of his head, so it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Let me see here. I'm getting all types of set. Talk of SD in the building. Salute to you, fam. Says poor Shoe York got booed. Yeah, man, my guy Shoe got booed, man. Broke my heart, bro. That's my guy, bro. I ain't like seeing you guys boo him, man. Y'all need to get it together in Ohio, bro. Recognize a real one when you see one. Now we going on. Now my guy going back to Cali. You know what I'm saying? He out of here, man. On the first thing smoking out of Cleveland, heading back to Vegas. Just06 says Shushu needed to cancel that parade and get back in the gym after last night. Oh man, bro, the parade until August, brother. Come on, man. 36 says, LOL, when he mentioned the parade, I instantly thought of the Shakur clip. I don't know why. Carlos Bernardo in the building, man, says, sup, what's good with you, Carlos Bernardo? What's good with you, man? Let me see here. Ray Davis. I think Ray Davis is in the back here. I think I'm about to pull him up. I think I see him in the back here. Ray Davis, it's a sign in the and there. Wait, it's a sign. There, the body shot comes into question. Keem Blake. I know we got a bunch of people in the building. I just can't. Let me see here. Yup, Clay Albert was outboxing Abdullah early. Yeah, he was, man. He definitely was, man. But Abdullah showed that intangible, bro. And then we'll talk about that, man, because the intangible was really the thing that played the factor. And the tangible is Abdullah has a second gear, maybe even a third gear. He got the heart of a lion, man. When it comes down to it, he's going to show up. He's going to show out, man. He's got a heart of a lion. Shout out to H-Town in the building. Said I had Mason 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, Bell 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 12 was 10-7. So it don't matter if Bell survived. Yeah. He gave 12 was a 10-7, so it didn't matter. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. You had 1, 2. You gave Mason 1, 2. Yeah, I gave Mason 1, 2. And then you gave him 8. Let me see. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so you gave Bell 7. I didn't give Bell 7. You gave Mason 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you had a very similar card to me. The only difference was you gave one more round to Albert Bell than I did. I didn't give Albert Bell that seventh that seventh round. That was a difference. But yeah, just like me, H-Town for sure, man, for the most part, man. Donnell Austin in the building said, what? 7 rounds to 4 for Mason is crazy. 7 rounds to 4 for Mason is crazy. I don't know why. I broke it down for you, Donnell. I don't know what you saw, man. I mean, we can go. I got my scorecard here. I gave him 1 and 2, and I gave him, let me see, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gave him 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way to 12. I gave him 7 to 12. I think he dominated. Let me know what your scorecard was, Donnell. I don't know, brother. It is what it is, man. Mason got his ass handed to him last night. I don't know about that, bro. I mean, 2 judges also agree with me, man. I don't know about that. I'll bring Ray Davis up, and he'll let me know what he thinks. Maybe I think last night Ray was kind of going crazy in the chat too. I think he thought Albert Bell won the line share of the rounds as well. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Let me see here. Eden B1P in the building said the standards for black fighters versus everyone else is dive. Oh, we got to do this. Abdul's expected to carry Loma weight when Loma was a 40-year-old amateur that was given all the grace and I don't know about all that, man. I think that I ain't gonna lie, man. That angle is old and beat down for me, but I don't got it in me. I just don't have it in me no more. I think that's a beat up angle, man. I think the fight game is the fight game, man. And I think you show up and you show out. And I think great fighters have great expectations, period. I think great fighters get great expectations. The better a fighter you are, the more accountable the space is going to hold you. And you know, if you want to give black fighters their flowers, say that the reason they get all the criticism and they get the high standards because how great boxers they've been over the years, right? But you know, I don't know, man. I'm not into letting fighters off the hook per se, but I'm also not into crucifying them in their lowest positions. I'm into just kind of calling it the way I see it. I think we got to find a balance. You know what I mean? Got to do like Michael Jackson, start with the man in the mirror, bro. If you want the space to treat the situation differently, then you got to be willing to kind of take that first step and treat the situations differently yourself in spite of how they act, right? But the whole entire you do this, so I'm going to do that, that's a circle that runs crazy. That's that same gang violence that's killing everybody in Chicago, right? You did it to me, so I got to do too. You did it to me, so I got to do too. At some point, if somebody really wants to stop the cycle, somebody's going to have to say, I'm going to stop. That's where that's where it begins. Otherwise, it's just going to be a crazy rat race, a crab in a barrel rat race that we're in, right? It is what it is here. Let me see here. Yours says that was BS. I believe he had a tough fight and fighting home showed a different character over just hype at his homecoming. And that flip was corny, in my opinion. Not the flip, but just that whole exchange. I don't know what's going on here. I think we got a conversation going here. Let me see here. HLD said, did not like hearing that from the young man. I think he messed up his words trying to emulate the Crawford Porter story. Yeah, I didn't like what he was saying, HLD. I don't like what Abdullah was saying, bro. I'm being real with you. I'm being honest with you. Big fan of Abdullah Mason, but didn't really appreciate the whole I had mercy on him, or, you know what I'm saying, I gave him a pass, or I didn't like that angle at all. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of Abdullah Mason, but just really all right, man. I really just didn't appreciate that angle, man. Shout out to my brother HLD with the super chat. Said boxing don't need nor miss Globetrotter Tank Davis. I ain't even mad at you, HLD, bro. I ain't going, you know, me, I try to keep it as neutral as possible, but man, man, if Tank, there is a version of Tank that I would love to come back to boxing, without a doubt. There's a picture in my mind of Tank Davis that I see that I want back in boxing. What I don't want back in boxing is that crazy ass 2025 we had with Tank Davis and 2024. I don't want no more of that, bro. If you're going to come back with that energy, not making the fights, telling people to shut up and be boxing fans and moving on all crazy out here, bro, I'm not interested in that shit at all, bro. Not even a little bit, bro. I'm good on that, bro. I'm like 100% all right with you being where you're at and not over here doing that. Just enjoy your money. Seems like you're living your best life outside of all these charges and that you're facing. You got a lot of money. Go do that. But I can't. That was a horrible 2024, 2025, man. Horrible watching Tank Davis move around the sport that way. That's just me being honest with you, right? That was just annoying. I think even for his fans to a certain degree, it got under their skin a little bit. Just like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? Let me see here. Let me go ahead and let me see here. Big Boss Man says, I agree with you, Clay. That's why I don't care for the friends in fighting. I remember Big Baby Miller crying, saying he was hurt watching Andy's head snap back when they fought. Yeah, man. That's why I'm okay with the way Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson's carrying it. I'm telling you guys, I'm okay with it because I don't want you going in the ring giving me some poo-putt performance. I don't need that. I don't need you guys in the ring scared of punching on each other, you know, having little, you know, agreements before the fight about how the fight's going to go and giving me some real exotic sparring match. I don't need to see that. If I more appreciate the honesty of, I can't hit my brother, bro. That's cool with me. I don't want to keep pushing it, because if you keep pushing it, they might mess around and give you the fight, and then you guys are going to be crying even louder the day after that fight, right? You're going to be crying even harder the day after that fight. It is what it is. Anyway, it is what it is, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, brother. I'm going to bring up my brother and co-host Ray Davis in the building. Ray Davis building, man. Ray. Let's go with your family. Let's go with your family. Salute.
Soundboard sound good to me.
Listen, well, no, I'm about to step it up because I'm about to try to bring in the Discord. And last night it was driving me crazy with the echo, but I think I troubleshooted it and figured out what the problem was. So I'm going to give it a shot again and see if I can pull up somebody from Discord. If it works the way I think it should work, we should be able to have a way better lane of communicating to the fans. Plus, my new board will be here Wednesday. I went ahead and ordered it, bro, because the board I use, the Pro has preamps in there, put in there to deal with that. So I don't have to, because this one I got to kind of rig to make it work. So we're gonna throw the dice again.
Wide connectors here and there. You good? Yeah, man. I don't know where you want me to start, man. Shushu, the comment I made with Shushu that you pulled up was I mean, the body shots was weary on him, man. I think it was unexpected. I mean, it kept his hand down. You can see him grimacing, and it left his whole left side available to be punched.
Yeah, you talking about that liver shot he caught, right?
Yeah. So that's something to be wary about, and I think it puts the division on notice that possibly he may have an issue with body shots, right? That's something to really consider going forward.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think liver shots for anybody. I think a liver shot's a liver shot. I think body shot, just being hurt to the body is one thing, but I think that liver shot specifically getting hit in that spot, it's a debilitating punch, bro. I don't care who you are, bro. You get hit in that liver, man. It's bad news for you.
But I'm just saying, but it brings attention to everyone else to target that area, is what I'm saying. So that's something that people may be looking forward to.
I don't know, man. I saw Oscar De La Hoya get put with a big liver shot by Bernard Hopkins. I see everybody plotting on his liver after that fight. I've seen plenty of people get caught with some bad liver shots.
I don't think he had too many fights after Bernard Hopkins, maybe 1 or 2. So it's cool. But yeah, man, going forward, man, I think Shushu is time for them to move up, man. I think even Abdullah, I looked at him in the weigh-in. I looked at him, you know what I mean? Even in the
what do you think about him at the weigh-in?
Bro, he didn't look. Maybe I'm looking at a different Abdullah Mason. Maybe it was his brother, but somebody looked like they were strong. They didn't even look like him, to say the least. And I think that he's really tightrope in the weight. You can see some of the even in the ring last night. It kind of, if you look at his eyes still look like black around the under his eyes, to say the least. But it is what it is, man. I'm not mad. You know what I mean? He did what he had to do. He got in there and he won. I'm not going to take the victory away from him. I'm not going to tell you that Albert Bell didn't put up a fight.
From who? We're talking about right now. We're talking about Shushu. We're talking about Abdullah.
No, we moved on. We moved on for Shushu. I'm talking about Abdullah Mason.
Abdullah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, I scored the fight differently. I did have 2 swing rounds that I gave to Bell. I thought that Abdullah kind of like flawed out in those rounds. That was the first and the 10th round. So a lot of people don't see the 10th round as I see it, but I'm like, yo, he started off strong and then he kind of went back to that head hunting shit. And when he went back to that head hunting shit, that's when Bell started letting his hands go a little bit more, even though he was still backing up and looked like he didn't want any body work. I thought he stole that round because it was like the first minute on, he kind of took over that round. So I gave him that round. Basically, I gave him 7 rounds, but with the knockdowns, right? I thought the knockdowns kind of put him right back in the fight, regardless of me thinking he got pushed down or not, or whatever the case may be. It's still counted as a knockdown. I'm not going to take the knockdown away. I don't question the cause, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It was a great fight, to say the least. Abdullah definitely has some stuff to work on. I think when we were up here last time, Clay, you heard me say Abdullah needs to make this an inside fight. I don't see him winning on the outside, especially with a guy he just took on 2 weeks' notice. This may be some trouble. He may need some time, and we need to see what adjustments he makes. Shout out to his dad for cursing him out because he gave him the instructions in the 3rd round to go to the body, and Abdullah was still headhunting. When he sat him down that 7th round, or between 6 and 7, he told him, hit the body, go up top, go back to the body, and stay there. Literally, Abdullah took heed to that. He went in there, he did it, he planned it, he started putting the work in. And it was a good adjustment and a good leadership from the corner. So, you know what I mean, shout out to the Masons for getting it together and winning that fight, man, for real.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, there were adjustments made. Some of the things I love from Abdullah Mason last night was the way he listened to his corner. He really stuck to the game plan. When we watched him fight against Sam Noakes, he was rogue a lot in that fight. There was a lot of, I think his name is Valiant Mason. I think that's the name of the father, right? Is that the name? Valiant Mason? But a lot of him just trying to rein him in that fight, right? A lot of, okay, you're doing good. You know what I mean? Saying you're doing your thing, but come on, you could work behind that jab, really trying to almost, be gentle parenting a little bit. Like, I don't want to get into it with you in this fight right now. You know what I'm saying? But I need you to consider at least listening to what I'm saying to you right now. This fight don't need to be as hard as you're allowing it to be. You know what I'm saying? So if we can slow this down and get behind that jab and stop allowing Sam Noakes to collapse that pocket and stop participating in that fire exchange you keep getting into every time he starts exchanging me on the inside, I think we can walk him into something bad and potentially even stop this guy, right? But in this fight, we saw those adjustments, right? We saw him stick to the game plan, and we saw him touching that body. I thought that, by the way, obviously I had to score different than you. I thought Abdullah Mason's game plan was on point. I thought it made sense. He threw me a little bit with what he said as far as the showing mercy in the first half of the fight. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, bro. If you saw some big hooks that you could have landed early, well, you should have gone for it. You can't play games. This is a big show, man. And shout out to Andre Ward, who said, kind of spoke to Jaron Ennis a little bit about this. And I think he would say the same thing about Abdullah Mason. Bro, that guy's trying to take your head off. He's trying to take everything you work for. You're the youngest champion in the game. This is your homecoming. Ain't no time to have mercy. Ain't no showing mercy, bro. You're not that much better than this guy to be showing him mercy. You can't bet on outboxing this guy. And, you got to, if you saw something early in this fight that you could have taken advantage of, it's your job as a fighter to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I thought, if you guys look at what I thought going into the fight, I told you guys, I was expecting Abdullah Mason to touch that body, use that reach, start touching him straight to the body, hooking off to the body, breaking that range, forcing Albert Bell to continue to fight his way out of some situations, to be athletic. And I thought that combination of that was going to start tapping into the conditioning of Albert Bell. I thought as long as he was able to get to that body, that he would be able to capitalize off that, off that compound interest in the championship rounds. That worked out. Big left hand lands for Abdullah Mason. He breaks the nose of Albert Bell. So that really compounded the body work, compounded all the athletic, the requirements needed to compete with Abdullah Mason, who continued to apply pressure, continue to walk him down, try to cut the ring down. He would not let him go off. I remember there were points in times when they had like these little tie-ups. There was multiple moments of this when the referee separate them, and the referee tried to turn around, right, to be like, let us fight. And Abdul was like right on his shoulder, like, you know what I mean? Like he was not letting Albert Bell breathe. And I thought it paid out for him in the championship rounds. I thought the game plan was a great game plan. Like I said, I gave him from 7 on to the last round. From round 7.
He's just not a guy that he doesn't, and I noticed this in a couple fights. He doesn't throw the jab well unless he has somebody that's really slow, Clay. Anybody that has range or can stay outside and pluck him back, it's a hard fight for him. I mean, he has to be in that upper mid-range to close distance. He's a great fighter on the inside. I think that's why his team keeps working on him to, either utilize the jab to start up fights and lead with the jab. But he seems that he gets his motor going when he gets inside. We've seen this multiple times on the account of him fighting even Sam Noakes, like you mentioned. And I think that's the key for Abdullah Mason is he's a brawler. Bro.
Hold on a second. Let me try something real quick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let me just see what happens here. I'm gonna try this, bro. I hope this works, bro. Mic check. Any echo?
No, you good.
No echo.
Nope. And somebody just came in.
No echo.
No, somebody just came to the Discord though. I was in there earlier.
What do you mean? Like somebody's talking right now?
Yeah, you ain't hear the buzz? You gotta let them in though.
I gotta hear them. Hold on a second. All right, good so far. Let me see here. Let me play around here. I'm gonna try to bring in my guy here. Let's see here.
See, I just introduced you.
Hold on a second here. H-Town, do you hear me?
No.
Hold on. Let me give it a second.
It's good. I can hear H-Town.
You hear H-Town?
I hear him. He just said my
I got it muted. My bad. Boom. H-Town, you there?
There you go. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Hey,
wait, hold on, H-Town, before you go. No echo, right?
A little bit.
No echo, but
there's an echo?
I'm tripping. I'm hearing myself talk.
That's why.
Okay. All right, but to the chat, do you guys hear H-Town? H-Town, bear with me, man. You're the first guy in here, so I just want to make sure it's working right. Just bear with me, brother. Are we good?
Yeah. I was gonna say there's a way to make it where you're the head guy and everybody can listen to you, and everybody else is in a waiting period, where they're listening to you, and then you bring them up.
Is it like the meeting room, maybe? Let me see.
I think it's like the meeting room, bro.
Switch to me. Okay, confirm. Let's switch to the meeting room.
You just kick this out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, that's what's up.
Invite. Okay, so I can invite to voice. And I could do. Okay,
yeah, he kicked us out. We're in the lounge. Yeah, he has to send us to the room.
I think I figured it out.
So he has to make a room, and then we can go. We got to hit that room that he makes once he goes into that room. So like he would have to create a whole room. and then we would go into there. Like we would click that link. I mean, it's fine the way it was. I mean, it's kind of like almost like
hold on.
But now, he's trying to get it done.
Hold on. H-Town, you there?
No, you ain't bring him in yet. He's talking to me.
I sent him an invite. I sent him an invite to come in there. I feel like
he's hopping out, Clay.
He's hopping out?
Yeah, he's going into there. Okay. There he goes. He's in.
Okay, cool. And I've got
Yo, mic check.
Mic check. I hear you.
Perfect.
You hear me?
Perfect.
Yeah. You sound way clearer here.
Perfect. He sounds louder than you guys. How about now, guys? HLD, how's he sound? How's H-Town sound now?
Clear.
But I know
mic
here
check.
because we're on the board, but I want to see if the people in the chat here.
I know, but I hear from the chat. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you hear from the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, H-Town was good, man. We in the building, man. H-Town was good. We got it. Discord. My guy showed me how to do the meet room. Shout out to the community.
Moving up in the world.
No
I got
doubt.
the chat here, Clay.
Let's hold on a second here. Let me do this real quick here. They said the volume is a little high here. Open voice. Let me see. Boom. User volume. Boom. Talk, H-Town.
Yo, mic check.
Is that better? Does it sound better? Everybody in the chat, does that sound better from H-Town? I put the volume down.
Yeah.
Does that sound better?
No, he was clear before. It was.
I know he was clear, but they were saying that you say, Clay, you sound really low. Better. Talk about it. He says better. Okay.
All
right, we're good, man. We'll just play by you. H, what's good with you, man? What's good with you, brother?
Man, it was a great night of the sweet science last night, but a horrible night for fight fans, you know.
Why do you feel that?
Man, I mean, there was no real devastation going on until Mason put it down. You know, you had a lot of people complaining how the card was boring. Shushu to me was a disappointment. He should have put that dude away. He was clearly not on his level. You know, it was a fight where he should have showcased and showed out bad. You know?
Yeah. I agree. I think Shushu, man, he just became a little bit more reserved. You know, he came off that fight. Maybe there was a little PTSD from the Carlos Castro fight. Maybe him getting hurt. He became a little more conscious of being defensively responsible, right? Maybe that's what it was all about. I'm not too sure. But I mean, he'll be back, man.
My whole thing is you're on national TV, 4th of July. You had so many people watching, you know, barbecuing at home. Man, this is the time for you to make a name for yourself and get yourself out there and become a star like Mason. Mason's a star, man. I'm so happy he won, Clay. I was so upset if our Rebel would have won. We don't need these guys that are super technical fighters and don't put people away to get the light. We need the guys that put people away in the forefront of boxing, so boxing could grow, man. Because you know, not everybody's like us. We love the counter right hand. You know what I mean? Even though Mason looked like he hadn't even been in a fight, and other than the headbutt, and he caught a bunch of clean shots. You think his face would have been messed up?
Yeah, he's a durable dude. Abdullah Mason's a durable dude, but I think more importantly, it looks like Abdullah Mason really showed he has those gears, right? He had that Sean Porter, Terence Crawford moment. You know what I'm trying to say? Where the corner let him know that they thought he was down, and he was able to process that and turn that into a pure aggression. He came right out to the top of that 12th round and just immediately start letting off these left hooks, man. And I think it caught Aberbell by surprise a little bit, where he's like, God, yo, this dude's really trying to put me down, and it did end up putting him down, and he wasn't able to recover, man. But that intangible that Abdullah Mason showed last night, I don't think it's something you train a fighter to have. I think it's something that's just in you. You know what I mean? It's just like that heart. It's just that heart of a lion, the ability to throw that caution to the wind and go for it and not go out the way it looks like you're going to go out. And I think that's going to play an important role in who Abdullah Mason becomes as a fighter as we continue to watch him, you know, develop into the champion that he's going to end up becoming. You know what I mean?
And what he has is what we were talking about a couple weeks ago that Xander doesn't have. He's got the killer instinct in him. When he's got somebody hurt, he knows how to finish it. You know what I mean? He's gonna get you. He's gonna put the right pressure on you. He's gonna put you away. And for a lot of people that are Abdullah haters and crying this morning, talking about Albert Bell was robbed, he should have been able to finish. Bro, his legs were gone. He stared at the ref like, "Help me." 5 rounds of clinching. He told you that he couldn't breathe for 5 rounds. What was going to change in that next round other than him being seriously hurt, or he'd probably be in the hospital this morning, away from his family? Like he was out of there, man. Even if he survives the round, it's a 10-7 round, and Abdullah still wins. Because I had Abdullah 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Hey, Sean, you had the same scorecard as me, to be honest with you. The only thing is you gave Bell 7. I didn't. I gave Abdullah from 7 down. You gave him all the way up until 7. So I gave him 1, 2, and I gave Bell 3, 4, 5, and 6. I gave Abdullah Mason 7 to 12. So you gave him one more round than I did.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the counters were looking nice in the beginning, especially where it started in the 3rd round, and he was doing his thing. But I mean, he just didn't have the pop to keep Abdullah, away from him long enough and fearful enough of him, not to imply that body work, man. He was looking like a Chavez in there, man, like old school Chavez Jr. just Chavez Sr. working the body, working relentlessly, and I mean, he was gone, man. He got to have some hurt ribs this morning, man, because he couldn't breathe, man, and it was bad. You could tell after the fight that Tiger was like, "Let me go out on my shield," but I mean, he didn't have no fight in his eyes anymore. His eyes were glossy, and he was done, man. I don't see no other result than the result that happened last night. It was a stoppage.
Yeah,
and it was
I feel like I definitely understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to lie to you, right? Like, I get what you're saying, because I agree with you that it didn't look like Bell was going to be able to do anything to change what was happening. You know what I'm saying? But there's something with me about referees getting involved where they don't need, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like give that man his 8 count, bro. Let him get his 8 count. Let him, and if you're going to make that decision on the back of the 8 count. You know what I'm saying? After you've done 8, if he's still looking like, man, you ain't here, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I got to stop it. Fine. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't like to just jump in and just wave it off based on how competitive the fight was for Albert Bell in the first half of that fight. I thought he deserved. I feel like he earned a right to close out the fight if he could, or at least get that 8 count to prove that I'm right here. I'm focused. I'm dialed in. I'm ready to fight. You can let me fight. Or for the ref to see something after that 8 count, be like, "Yo, champ, you got the heart of a lion, man, but I can't let you take no more of this. I'm gonna stop this fight, man. I'm sorry."
Wait, ask him this. I don't know if you can hear me, but if not,
can you hear Ray Davis?
I can hear you,
Oh,
everybody,
cool. Yeah. All right, cool. So let me ask you this: do you think the headbutt in the 6th round where he split his eye open, did that play a big part too? I think that was a big change in the fight too, as well. I thought that had significance because he started winking his eye. I don't know if y'all noticed, like he started closing his eye because the blood was trickling down.
I remember, but I think that's part of boxing, man.
No, I ain't saying. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying that you're saying anything. I'm saying I think that's part of. I think that happens all the time, especially when you're dealing with that style class, that southpaw and the orthodox. When you're dealing with that, you deal with those things. You know what I'm saying? So I can't.
That shit was hard.
I'm sure it did have something to do with it, but that's like saying, do you think the right hook that hit him in his face had something to do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, probably.
Listen, he ain't had no pop. I mean, with everything H-Town said, he had no pop. There was definitely no. He just had control. You know what I mean? And I have to give him respect for having control, and that's why I gave him the rounds, the swing rounds that I had put up there, because a lot of people think I'm crazy. I'm like, no, bro. When you talk about controlling the fight, you're talking about pacing and hitting when you want at will. And not being hit, you know what I mean? All those things are all part of scoring, basically, right? And those are 3 key components. And he had control. He had, the defense was pretty much there in those rounds, and he was able to punch at and land at will, man. So,
that right hand was definitely fine.
Yeah, in those rounds. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna say something, can you hold on for a second? I'm gonna go. I got a couple other people in here. I just want to pull them in here real quick and let them talk. So
go ahead. All
right. Let me see here. Let me see. I'm trying to learn how to do this here. Jesham Wagner, what's good with you, bro? I gotta unmute him, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm unmuted. What's going on, Clay?
What's good, Jesse? What's good, man? Yeah, I'm learning how to
Hey,
use this
Clay,
thing.
Clay.
Yeah,
Clay.
yeah.
It's Jehosham.
Jehosham, my bad, brother.
It's my son's name, bro. So
I feel you, bro. He was like, hey, before we go even more, I just gotta let you know, brother. It's Jehosham,
hey, cause
brother.
I'll be here for like 6 months, man. Can't nobody get it right, but it's good though.
I got you, man. Jehosham, I got you, family, for sure.
Yeah. For sure, man. So how we doing today, though, man?
Man, we good.
Everything good?
Yeah, I mean, we good. We no complaints, man. We just trying, man. We just trying to be better, man. Every other day, just trying to get better.
You know, that's what's up. You know, I'm here to show that support from my brother.
Thank you, family.
No doubt. So I didn't watch the Scooter fight. I came in at the Tiger Johnson fight. That's what I started with.
Me too.
So I'm gonna start off from there. I like that Tiger Johnson, Bo Mac marriage right there. I like that relationship. You know, I've seen a few Tiger Johnson fights before. Even though I've seen him get people out of there, I see at times that he has a tendency to be like a little overly reserved. And I've seen moments where he has kind of like moments of nothingness. But with Bo Mac, I think he took that reservation and he turned it into the proper patience. You know, he was working behind that 1-2 of that jab. So I think that's gonna look real good going forward. You know, outside of that, I don't have too much to say about the Tiger Johnson fight. You know, as he steps up in this competition, I think it'll work out well. I want to move on to that Shushu fight because, you know, Shushu, my dude, man. I'm a real big fan. That's one of my favorite young fighters. And that wasn't the best showing last night. You know what I'm saying? But it's not enough for me to discard him either.
Right.
From what I've seen from him in the past. I think, you know, sometimes styles make fights and not everybody's gonna have just some monster performance every time they come up, bro. You dig what I'm saying? He could have just been hurt, man, and he just found a way to get up out of there alive to fight another day without taking that L. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to necessarily throw him away with that one. I would like to see more next time, though. I feel like next time he come out, though, he got a fireworks. I think
is it fair to say that based off that Carlos Castro performance that, you know, we definitely can say Shushu is better than what he did last night, right? It's not that Shushu's not that good. It's something happened last night. He got hurt to the body. He had a moment that some fighters have, bro. But for the most part, he's shown and proved to us that he gets it in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of that same sentiment, but I'm also, you know, I be trying not to make excuses for shit, man. And it calls kind you know what I'm saying? Yes, but I'm of that same sentiment that it looked like something didn't look right last night because I've seen several Shushu fights and none of them look like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And none of them look like that. So I feel like something was off, you know what I mean? And probably what was off was Palancio's fist hurting him. You know what I'm saying? So he got up out of there.
Gotta get in your way.
you feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro. But at the end of the day, he survived. He got that W. You know what I'm saying? He got up out of there. So like I said, we'll see what happens. I think whatever the situation is, it'll be course corrected by the time the next fight comes around. I believe because like Shushu cold, bro. Shushu cold, man, and I'm not gonna throw him away with that one because what I've seen from him, I'm a huge fan of Shushu, bro. I just didn't like the performance last night. You know what I mean? So It is what it is, though. He still got that W. But this Abdullah Mason, Albert Bell fight, that was a really good fight. You know what I'm saying? Bell was taxing him early. You know what I'm saying? Keeping him on the outside of that jab, countering him. I think once that nose got broken, he had them breathing problems. Is really when the fight, you know what I'm saying, switched tides. So, it's really because you see when he started having trouble breathing afterwards, about the 4th, 5th round after he said the nose got smashed on is when the fight, you know what I'm saying, really switched. Of course, though, you can't take it from Dula because we've seen several fights, you know what I'm saying, Buddy with the weird haircut, and then Sam Noakes. You know, Dula got that championship medal, that pedigree. He's gonna find a way to dig down. That pit bull gonna come out, and he's gonna bang. He gonna get clipped, but he gonna hurt you too. You know what I'm saying? He got real strength. You know what I'm saying? He has real determination and he has real willpower. I really like the way that fight switched. It was an excellent showing because it's back to back. After this and after the Noakes fight, man, you're gonna see it's hard to put Dula away, man. He gonna keep coming to the end. He like that T1000. He's not gonna stop, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna sleep. He's not gonna rest. He gonna find a way. I really like what I see from Dula. Them was my 2 favorite young fighters. That's a good performance. It sucks for Albert Bell, man, because he was doing so good, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, throwing these dudes away, it's kind of hard to dismiss the fact that my dude couldn't breathe. That changes everything. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It changes everything. It changes the way you fight. It changes your output. It changes the way you move because all of that requires you breathing. You know what I'm saying? And once your nose, you got a snot box, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro. Hopefully Albert Bell gets some more performances. He gets another chance to shine after his nose heals up, because I think, you know what I'm saying, he could do some good work, man. That was just an unfortunate turn of events because he was putting in good work. I thought he was dominating the early rounds. I thought Albert Bell was out. I thought Albert Bell was out ahead. But once that tie turned, me personally, I didn't have Bell winning another round after the 6th round. Yeah. After that, once that tie, it kind of reminded me of that War Kovalev, man, where War had to dig deep when that Kovalev won, and he went on the offensive going that work to the body, and he took the fight over and had to win every round to squeak that out. So I think Dula had an excellent showing, man. Excellent championship showing. He's a great champion. So he's a great champion, actually. You know what I'm saying? He's good for the sport of boxing. I like the way he gets down. I never necessarily agree, like you said, with the friend thing. Maybe should have kept that silent. Sometimes these dudes say a little too much, trying to explain too much, man.
That threw him.
No, sometimes
that made me give him the rock eyebrow. I was like,
sometimes you just gotta just not say anything, bro. You know what I mean? Let people think about it. You know what I mean? But you ain't got to give no explanation for everything, bro. I feel like he could have stayed silent on that if that was the situation. If that was how you felt, keep that to yourself, man. That's not for the world to know. Yeah, man. But
it did kind of put a little. I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't want to be deeper than what it is. But as far as well, 2 questions. Number one, 135 right now. The landscape. You see how things are moving right now. August 1st, we've got Lamont Roach and we've got Williams Zepeda figuring it out. We've got looks like the WBA is finally pulling their head out their asses and doing something about this Tank Davis conversation and putting him in recess and allowing Schofield to get an opportunity to fight for a vacant title. I would assume against Lucas Body. And then, you're seeing even the IBF looks like it's developing because Raymond Morataya looks like he might be on his way out the division after this this defense against Robinson Conceição. And it looks like Andy Cruz is lining himself up, or Eddie Hearn is lining Andy Cruz up to get an opportunity to fight for maybe a vacant title, right? As his next fight will be an eliminator. What do you think about the 135-pound landscape right now for Abdullah Mason, now that we're seeing all these young champions look like they're about to take their position?
I think he could fare well. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, nothing is set in stone, bro. We won't know until these dudes fight the fights. We can come up with all these scenarios in our heads and say this is guaranteed, that's guaranteed, but them is just simulations be running. You feel me? Until they get in the ring and they bang it out. I think he has a good chance. I mean, to win, bro. Like I said, he showed that medal, that championship medal, which that pedigree, man, which means a lot. That willpower. Sometimes that willpower and that pedigree, man, is going out trump. It's going out trump that we said, the talent and the skill. Not saying that he's not skilled, not because obviously he's coached up. Oh, I forgot who said earlier, but they said he has a problem with that Ray. They say he has a problem on the outside of that jab. I've seen that a couple of times, you know what I'm saying, with distance. Even though with Noakes, though, he found a way. I seen that earlier. In the early parts, Noakes was killing him with that jab, but then Abdullah found a way to control range. And once he started being able to control range in that fight, he completely took over. So he makes adjustments. He's not a fighter that's gonna get bogged down to a game plan and drown in the swamp. He's gonna make the adjustments that need to be made as long as he listens to his father. He got great coaching from that corner. But as far as the 135 landscape, no idea, man. I just want to see who's standing when the smoke clears. I really feel like 135 is one of them divisions that could really benefit from a tournament, from just lining these dudes up, man, and letting the last man standing, man, be that man.
I like That's nice.
There's so much going on. It's a couple of divisions that you know what I mean, that could benefit from that. But I think 135 is one of those divisions. So much going on. You know, the WBA, what they're doing with Tank. You can't trust WBA. They got 36,000 belts and 36,000 stipulations and whatever guidelines to move out of this and move out of that. So I don't know about that, but I think that Dula can fare well. Absolutely. As far as the landscape, no idea, Clay. No dog in the race, and I'm not that dedicated to it to you know what I mean, to debate. I'd rather just watch it and see how it unfolds.
No doubt. I'm right there with you, man. Scooter Davis. What'd you think of Scooter Davis last night? What'd you think about Scooter Davis going into the fight? Were you high on Scooter Davis going into that fight?
I haven't seen too much of him, and I missed that fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and just make up a bunch of bull crap. I don't know too much about Scooter. You dig what I'm saying? So I can't really speak on that, bro.
No doubt. Well, until the next one, man.
What I seen from the comments though, I hopped on a Discord and everybody was screaming robbery. So I'm gonna have to watch the fight again.
Yeah, it definitely was.
I'm gonna have to watch it myself. I guess it wasn't a good showing from him.
Nah, yeah, man. He got exposed and potentially exposed. I mean, he might have had a bad night as well, man. I'm used to seeing him do way better than that. But yeah, man, take a look at it and tell me what you think, man. I'm gonna move on to Chad in Canada, man. I appreciate you, Jehosham. Right?
Bet.
Say right? Jehosham?
Yeah.
Ocean.
Hey, if you want to make it easy, if you ever see the name, just say Mike.
Okay, that part.
Just
I'll work on it until I figure it out. I'm gonna call you Mike, man. Salute, Mike.
All right, bet, man. No doubt, bro. All right, stay up, black man.
All right, you too, family. Chad in Canada, man. You there? Tap in.
Yeah, I'm here, man. You hear me okay?
Yes, sir, man. You sound good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, Clay. Just a quick note to anybody that might be calling in, and for you, I used the link out of your YouTube,
okay,
and it took me to the lounge in Discord, and I couldn't hear anything in there. But then I clicked on meeting room,
okay,
and it seemed to be like the same setup as the lounge, and I had audio. So just so you know.
okay, yeah. So I'm gonna send I don't know, because it looked like I could work from the lounge as well, just like I'm working from the meeting room. That's what it looked like. But I went into the meeting room because my guy H-Town was like, because he's used to doing it on the boxing voice, he kind of more familiar with working with this program than I am. I just started this, but we'll figure it out, man. I'm sure within the next 3 to 4 times we'll be masters of the Discord. You know what I'm saying? We'll be masters.
Oh yeah, I was really clueless when I started with it too, man. I had no idea, so I still kind of don't. But look, man, last night, first of all, Jehosham, that's a great, strong name, man. That sounds biblical to me. That's a great name.
For sure.
And I liked what he was having to say about Shu and everything, but I kind of disagree, man. Look, every time Shu fights, I feel like I have a calling now to speak, because I feel like a lot of fans, I think there's a lot of hype and a lot of bias when it comes to Shu. Even he'll show us things in the ring, and the fans will take to talking, and a lot of fans are living in a fantasy land when it comes to Shu. I think at this point, the Castro fight is an exception to the consistency we've seen from Shu, and it's a lot of underwhelming, uninspired, mediocre, if that is resonating with anyone, because I think he's super talented. There's no question of that. But there's just been something about, at this point, I think we say the last 3 to 5 years, where he's this really interesting personality. He's great. He's fun, exciting personality. Like, he's the type of fighter we want to be a champion in that respect. But in the ring, what he's actually accomplished in the ring does not meet the hype. The Castro fight was so great because it was, to me, his big breakthrough to really show us something in the ring, something that looks like a champion, something that looks like elite or greater than. Most of his other fights, I mean, they've been okay, but there's nothing as amazing as what is always being described with Shu. It's like Top Rank has been selling. It's like false advertisement a lot of the time with him, man. And I feel like last night, for his first title defense, again, it was just really underwhelming. And it's like there's just no urgency, man. And he's not alone. There's other guys that is like this too. It's almost like watching a guy who's got somewhere to be after the fight. He looks like he not interested in getting too roughed up or doing too much in there. And I wish Shu would put it like the way he did with the Castro fight. I mean, I wish he would put it out there more like that. I'm not sure what is it about Palacio's style that is so problematic. What is it about Sagawa's style that was so problematic? What is it about Hayda's style that was so problematic? You see in the trend here? I mean, tell me, Clay, help me understand, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, the Sagawa fight was definitely a fight where I thought he went in there with the wrong mentality. I actually spoke to him after that fight a little bit, and even he had to take some accountability. And that's one thing I like about Shu's his willingness to take that accountability, right? But he understood that he was headhunting a little bit with Sagawa. He was really trying to do something. Sagawa was doing a real good job of controlling that range of that fight, moving around, and really just kind of like Shushu got over caught up in doing that. This was on the back end of what Tank Davis did to Frank Martin, right? So he was over there watching Tank, get ready for that Frank Martin fight and do things in Vegas. And I think he kind of drank a little bit of that Kool-Aid a little bit and got out of his own character. Then he had a couple of fights after that to where he tried to dial back the headhunting and get back into his boxing because he comes with that boxing pedigree, but that didn't translate into very exciting fights per se. I think he's still trying to find the balance, in himself as to where he can provide the show, show the urgency that you're talking about. But at the same time, I think he wants to be very defensively responsible. He doesn't want to get into like being, throwing too much caution to the wind to where he's getting touched like he did with Carlos Castro, right? Like he got touched by him in a way that he was like, damn, I really got hurt. In this fight last night, maybe there was a little PTSD from the Carlos Castro fight to a certain degree. At the same time, maybe he respected Rene Palacio a little too much. Maybe he saw the way Rene Palacio fought against Suleiman Sagawa, and maybe he respected him too much. Maybe he's like, yo, man, I don't want to leave it open. I think this guy might be able to hurt me. This guy might be able to do something to me. Maybe that got in his head. He's gonna have to balance that out. Me personally, though, I do think he's a champion. I do think he's one of the most formidable opponents at 126 right now, in my opinion. But I can't, I respect your opinion on it because I see what you're saying as far as he could do more. And whenever you see a fighter who can do more, the question becomes, why aren't you doing more? And that becomes complicated because then it becomes like, is there something wrong with his heart? Is there something wrong with, is he scared? Is he, because he looks like he has the ability to do more and he's choosing not to do more. And that right there can cause some conflict of interest if you're trying to support him or not, right?
Man, that was so well said. I totally agree. You're totally right. It's like, because I do count myself as a fan, believe it or not. Like I'm just not going to let commentary and promoters tell me what's what when I'm seeing what's happening in the ring. Like that's the thing that bugs me with fans. Like nobody wants to be real about what's happening in the ring. It's just like, just overlook it and poo-poo and shoo it aside.
Right.
No, man, no. People are talking about Inoue for Carrington. They're asking him about Inoue. I mean, if we're gonna imagine an Inoue fight, like I think we got to get things happening with a Palacios first. Like that's my problem. It's like there's this gap between reality and like hype and all the media and all that stuff. But you're totally right that we see that. Like I do see greatness in him. I see the talent. I see the instincts. It is all there. But it's just, you're right. They haven't packaged it the right way yet. And I want to see it. I know you do. And you're right. As a featherweight, he's perfect as a featherweight. He's like, he's probably one of the biggest featherweights there is
right now.
And yet he always looks great at weigh-in. Like he's a ideal featherweight, man. So I only hope that we'll get what he can deliver. I want to see it. And that's my problem. Like I want to see what we can get. Like it's not like I feel like it's like false advertisement, but not because he can't deliver it, like he can deliver it. I don't know, Clay. It's discouraging. And I find like just how fans don't embrace more of the reality with him is extra discouraging about it. But I don't know. Look, I don't want to take up too much more time. I'll just say quickly, I don't have a lot more to add about the main event. And to be truthful, I want to go back and rewatch it. But I would say that generally speaking, I thought that Bell was doing really well in the first half to basically frustrate a southpaw. He was doing everything really well to frustrate a southpaw. And then he was connecting and getting some good work done in a couple of those rounds. But I don't think he won all the rounds. And I don't think that every piece of work he was doing was necessarily landing clean. Like the commentary was a little too much. And I think a little misleading. But regardless, he definitely was dominant, and Mason looked like he wasn't going to figure out what was happening in there. And then, yeah, just all of a sudden, it's like clicked, it's like it clicked. He's like Neo in the Matrix. And and then all of a sudden, Mason just, you could see the electricity kind of come back into him. And he took over the fight from that point. And of course, I do agree with you. Like, with only a minute or whatever was left in the round, like let him finish the fight. Like, if he goes down again, he goes down. Like, and then you can stop it. I didn't understand the decision, even though it's justified. Like, he was pretty badly beat. I mean, he wasn't going to win the fight by all appearances. It ended up that the cards were in favor of Mason. So I don't know. I would prefer in that situation to see the final bell. But regardless, Mason is great, and he's figuring things out as a young champion. And on one hand, when you're a champion, I don't believe you deserve any, because like, I don't think youth is an excuse. Once you become a champion, there's a level of expectation there, and you got to deliver, and you got to be a champion. And I think Mason, he's got that burden of youth and inexperience. He's got to figure things out still as a champion. So I liked the whole look of last night. It was a great look for Mason. And I hope to see more, man. And Bell, I think overall, I don't know. Like, what do you think, Clay? Like, I honestly haven't watched a lot of his fights, and I don't know. Like, where do you think he actually is in the pecking order, in the rankings? Like, where do you think he actually sits?
I think he's a high risk fight for anybody, and I don't think the reward matches him and follows him around. And I think for somebody to put their legacy on the line, or put an opportunity to go up in the rankings, or an opportunity to become a champion, or to keep their belt, I think Albert Bell presents a lot of issues for those kind of fighters. So he's going to be a fighter who, when he gets a belt finally, it'll be a lot easier for him. But without a belt, it's always going to be an uphill battle for a fighter like him to get fights, because he fights safe. He sits on the outside, he controls that range, he moves around, he doesn't go for the kill per se, but he's also a dangerous fighter because he can capitalize off any holes that you leave in the game. He's very smart. He's got an IQ about him to where he can take advantage of a lot of fighters, and he's also a tall fighter for the weight class he's in. So he presents a lot of issues and doesn't have the rewards to follow it. He doesn't have the accolades of a champion, and he doesn't have the payday of a superstar. So it's a complicated situation for a fighter like Albert Bell. But if you're asking me my opinion on what kind of fighter I think he is, I think he's one of the best 135. He's like one of the best 135 pounders who's not the best 135 pounder, if that makes any sense, right? Like, doesn't get the respect, but he's somebody, if he gets in the ring with you, there's a good chance you're going to lose that fight if you're not crossing your T's and dotting your I's. He's dangerous in the fact that he brings that IQ, that pedigree, not the kill shot, which makes a lot of guys dangerous, but that IQ. He can expose a lot of fighters who are used to just being fighters and not really used to boxing, No,
that's great, man. Thanks. The other thing I was thinking about last night that I didn't really look into today, now I'm just thinking about it again, is with Mason. Has anybody been able to frustrate, like, being a southpaw? Has anyone frustrated him like that? Yet I haven't watched all of his fights, and I haven't seen anybody, like, really minimize him as a southpaw. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bell must have been the most successful so far, right?
Yeah, he showed last night. That's another thing he showed. He showed his ability to keep his cool throughout a very tense situation. Mason has always been and I'm going to give that to Islam. You know what I'm saying? To say that he's a dude who stays he has a great temperament about him, that it could look bad. And he's like, damn, Mason needs to do something, but he's going to patiently move through his situation and find a way to win. And once again, once he got the word that he thought he was down on the cards, that his corner said, I can't guarantee you that you're up on the cards, he showed he got that Terence Crawford trait, right? That he can turn it up. He can hit another gear when he thinks he needs to hit another gear, and he can hit straight to the top. He can go from 0 to 1. What Drake said, he can go from 0 to 100 real quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to play out in his career. We're going to have to start factoring in that attribute he brings to the ring as far as how we look at the matchups he gets in the future,
I completely agree with you. And I would also say that I think we can factor in a bit that not, like I was saying earlier, not everything Bell was doing was that effective. Like he wasn't getting beat up the way that the commentary and everyone likes to think he was. A lot of what Bell was doing was really keeping Mason at bay more than anything else. Of course, he got in some great work. He got in some great counters. There's no doubt. And he definitely touched Mason. But I'm saying a lot of what people, I think, saw as destructive work from Bell was not. And so yeah, Mason was able to stay calm, and he did. And you're totally right, man. No, there's a lot of qualities there that are pretty great, like a champion should have, right? So I think he's great where he is,
and he's 22.
Hopefully,
He's 22. We got to
yeah,
remember
man,
that as well. So we got to
yeah,
remember that we got
yeah.
a lot more to see from Mason. So
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Listen, I'll jump off and let you take some other calls, though, Clay. Thanks a lot, man.
no doubt. Appreciate you, man. Come again, man. Appreciate you.
Hey,
HL, what's good, brother?
What's
HL,
going
man.
on, man?
What's good, man?
Dave, hey, I see you got a new toy now, huh? You got a new toy. Yo, I see him, bro. He got it figured out. He got that cheesy look on his face. Like, yeah, I see
working, bro. My shit working and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's working a lot better today, man. It's working a lot better. Hey, that last caller, great call from Discord. That who was Canada guy? You said it is now, right?
Yeah.
Great call, man. And look, I've been very, very nice and patient with the talk about Shushu, but he is 100%. I've been off the bandwagon of Shushu 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I saw this kid plateau. I see it. I mean, I watch too much boxing, and we know who's got it, and who don't got it. And this kid was 25, 26, and I seen him plateau. No, he's 29 right now.
Yeah,
he's gonna be 30 in April. So
yeah, that's right.
Yes, he's underwhelming to me. He used to be that blue chip. You know how Tim Bradley used to have that blue chip, double chip prospect and all that. He was up there for me, but bro, it comes to a certain point, like you got to show me, man. He's gonna grow, and he's gonna be 30 years old. He's plateaued. This guy is what you see is what you get, and I don't see it being much better. He's not on the same trajectory that we can talk about with Mason, who's only 22 years old. He is not.
Well, he started a lot later, to be fair, and also he was a prospect forever, and I think that hurt his career a lot. Them not moving him like they did. They didn't fast track him at all.
All right, it is this, that, whatever. He's still 30 years old. What you about, my man? What you about?
Listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I don't disagree 100% with you.
You know, and I'm not shitting on him because I like the kid. I like who he. I like Shushu, but I don't hold him in those high regards. He's not on the same level of a Mason. He's not even 3 steps just behind him. He's not. He's nowhere near Mason. He is nowhere near Mason. And I don't know if it's his training. I don't know if it's his focus, or it is what it is. This is what it is, and that's that. But yesterday was extremely underwhelming. It's not the first time I've seen that underwhelming from him. Like, man, I'm. It's like, okay, Shushu's fighting. Okay, great. Right. But I'm not. It's no big deal for me. It's no big deal for me. And
I think for me. By the way, is my audio coming in decent sound? Like I'm sounding good?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
I think certain fighters like Shushu Carrington, like Xander Zayas. I'm a fan of their character, their ambassador, the ambassador quality.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, that they bring to the sport. And I think sometimes that bleeds into other things, because I understand what everybody says. Like when the caller was talking about Shushu, I completely resonated with his position as far as I'm a fan of Shushu who believes Shushu can do a lot more than what he's doing. And I don't know necessarily what to point at as far as the reason as to why he has these underwhelming moments. But at the same time, I acknowledge that in those Carlos Castro's moments, you know what I'm saying, that he shows up. in a different way. He becomes very exciting. He becomes very menacing. He has that in him, but I think he also has that part of him that wants to stay true to the sweet science that he's always, you know what I'm saying, stayed loyal to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna box and I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna score and I'm gonna win these rounds, and you're gonna have a hard time beating me on the other side of I'm gonna show the crowd something special and really stop this dude. But I think at the end of the day, he presents issues. I don't see nobody at 126 steamrolling Shushu. I don't see nobody. I think Shushu gets in front of any, and I think there's a reason why he's having a hard time making the unification that he's looking for. I think that they know he's not food. They understand that. When they see Shushu, they realize like, later. I don't want to really do that right now. I think they all see it, man, because he has a WBC title right now. If he's easy, if he's vanilla, if he's not complicated, then somebody come and take that belt off of him.
It's the business part. He don't sell shit. I'm just sorry. He's an undercard.
Nobody at 126 sell shit.
Those Mexicans over there, they will sell.
Rafael, I'll give Rafael Espinosa.
Rafael, that Angelo Leo, they got the little followings, but be honest, fact, I'm not saying nobody's gonna steamroll them, but they beating them. They beating them. After what I saw yesterday, yeah, they beating them. If this guy who serves corn in the cup, bro, I almost had him out of there. Yeah, those other guys are elite.
Bro. That was an undefeated dude, bro. Who
man, from Tijuana? From where?
No, he was undefeated professional record. 18 wins, 0 losses, bro. 17 wins, 18 wins, 0 losses, bro. 10 knockouts. Bro, it is what it is, man. Nobody, like Shushu said, man. Nobody else is trying to fight me.
I hope we see it. You know, put up or shut up. I agree with that part. But I need to see it because this kid is
take that belt off of him, man. Why? Whoever it is who thinks they can beat and come become unified, bro. Don't sit there and let that man hold the belt.
I respect that. I respect that because it could be a competition thing. We've seen fighters fight lesser competition and they just look like shit. I'm not saying that's the case, so don't twist my words up. Not you, HLD. I'm just saying generally. But I'm just saying, like, we have seen fighters go through that. So maybe he does need a A+ fighter or at least a
step it up, right?
Fighter, to get in the game. You know
but he's been in this position many times before where he looks like Kaka, bro.
I know, but again, it's the competition, right? We heard multiple fighters say this. This may be something that's true in boxing. We've heard people say, like, this is why fighters say, I only want to fight top-notch competition because it brings the best out of them.
What was the fight that anyway was in the ring? It was in the crowd, and he
right?
I don't know, man. He was. I know Inoue was in the crowd, and he sharded in that fight too.
When he was fighting
Hater.
Yeah, he sharded in that fight. I'm like, bro.
It was Matias. Yeah, it was Matias Hater. It was Matias Hater.
Yeah, Inoue was like, yeah, this guy.
Yeah, he kind of walked out the building. They bowed at each other. I don't know. I think Inoue wants to fight him, though. I think Inoue wants to fight him. Maybe.
Well, yeah, too. I take his belt.
Right. You know what I mean? We don't know one way or the other if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, does Inoue want to fight him because he's easy work, or does he want to fight him because he respects?
Let me get off the haterade for Shushu because I do like the guy, and I've been very reserved at this because I like you, Clay. I like what he represents and I like who he is, and so. But it's just, man, when it is what it is. Now,
yeah, I think Terence Crawford and I think that whole panel
and Tim Bradley, they were whoop.
They kept it 100 about him. Like, nah, bro, that ain't it. That ain't gonna do. Like, they had to keep it real. They were like, that ain't gonna do it, Shushu. You gotta step that up.
I like that. Hey, I like that yesterday about they kept it a buck, at least to themselves. Like, I'm not saying what they're saying is word is law, but they were honest with what their opinion was, and it resonated. But yeah,
I mean, that being said, though, that real quick here, shout out to Super Chat from Marcus Warren, man. Salute to the panel in the chat. Appreciate you, Marcus. By the way, HLD, I appreciate you last night, man. You showed some love last night in the chat as well, man. But TNT, man. Terence Crawford. Let's start off with Terence Crawford, man. The new guy on the commentating conversation. Who would have known, right? Terence Crawford, one of the quietest guys in boxing. I don't know. That's kind of messed up to say that because in reality, he's a big shit talker too. He will get on Twitter and say some shit, right? But at the end of the day, just somebody who's been like, criticized for not being an exciting, a big talker, a big. Who would have known that this guy would approach commentating? I thought he did a great job last night. I thought he gave some real good perspective, and I just really like what he did, man. I want to see more of him there, but I'm going to ask you guys what you thought about the rollout with TNT and with Terence Crawford showing up on there as a permanent part of the commentating crew.
I mean, he looked a little nervous, I think, a little bit, but for the most part, he gave good analysis. I mean, he was speaking when they went directly to him. I think in the Abdullah Mason fight, it was a great source of information. But I think when they went to Sean Porter, then they went to Tim, and then they went to him. I think he felt like a little uncomfortable because he was like, "Damn, ain't much I could say." They touched every point, but it just looked like he felt like he was like the new kid on the block. It looked like he was a new kid on the block. Now I don't know how he felt, but yeah, I think he did his thing. I think he did his thing.
He is a new kid on the block, right? But I think that commentating shit, people sometimes try to make it competitive when it's not supposed to be, right? And I think Bud is a competitive person. So him wanting to have the better questions and get in the moments, he kind of seen it a certain way and not realizing that it's more about a chemistry between four people on a panel, right? That are talking with each other, responding to each other, and having conversation rather than trying to race to be first at saying something or something like that. And I think Bud's going to have to adjust to that, right? He's going to have to adjust to the idea that there was one point where he was questioning Abdullah Mason. He dropped like 4 questions in a row, right? And the way he did it, it was like he didn't want nobody to steal his questions. Like, he's been waiting on, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had these questions lined up, and he didn't want nobody to steal.
Hey, did he sound like Reyes?
Oh, damn. I know that feeling, Clay.
He's racing to be first, and I think he's going to have to shake that. I think that's the competitive nature of the fighter in Crawford, right? He's competitive in everything. If you walk up to Crawford right now and say, "Bro, I'm gonna beat you in badminton," you know what I'm saying, or wiffle, you know what I mean? I don't care what it is. I'm gonna beat you in kickball. He might take a break and be like, "Hold on, bro, let me put my shoes on, bro. You got me fucked up, bro. We gonna play some kickball. You got me messed up, bro. Get your team, get my
kickball shoes in his car.
You know what I mean? Like he's the type of person to just get competitive in anything that you tell him. He's gonna get competitive. But I think on that commentating thing, it's not a competitive space. There's no room for it, right? Matter of fact, it's counterproductive. We're not supposed to be competing with each other. We're supposed to be speaking on these people competing with each other. So
feeding the people.
Right. So he has to kind of grow into that. But I thought for the most part, for that being his first real one, I liked it, man. What did you think about the whole event just in general, as far as TNT and this television aspect of traditional boxing?
As far as Bud, I have no criticism last night about him. It's his first one, and I think he did a great job. I think his presence brings some value, validity of what's coming out their mouths, and that. So I have none. I have no criticism of it. I think it's just something that it's going to take some time for him to get comfortable. And there you go. You could go back to Shaq. You could go back to Charles Barkley when they first got on the scene, and it was a little awkward and whatever. But yo, man, I think that's a good and even Sean Porter, because Sean Porter is gonna be that outside man that you know how the NBA has that old guy used to. You talk about his suits all the time, but you guys know that white dude that always had the crazy suits in the NBA with interviews and shit. Yo, that's who Sean Porter is. He's gonna be that extra man out. I think it's give it time, but I think it was overall a great production. I think it was great for the fans. I wish the fights would lift up a little bit more than so that we had more energy, like the energy we had last weekend. It would have been that would have been phenomenal. But
last weekend would have benefited from a TNT platform,
bro. It would have been mega, because everybody. I'm telling you, everybody left that stadium with high energy, good energy. It was no negative. It was, we saw epic night of boxing. So anyway, good shout out to Bud Crawford, man. I respect where he's at with what he's doing. And if that's his lane, bro, I hope he knocks it out of the park because we need it. We need it in the space. We need it in the space of boxing.
I think the traditional space took a win last night. I like the way, when I'm talking about sanctioning body boxing, right? I think that's a good look for them. I think that team was a very competitive team. If you're trying to compare that team to, the regular DAZN team, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even say everybody's Chris Mannix is part of that as well, but all those guys that are over there, the Sergio Moras and all those guys. I think that team is a good team when you're comparing it's like Andre Ward and you know what I'm saying, and Max Kellerman and those guys. And you know, we got to keep it 100. Zuffa Boxing is doing something different, and the traditional side of boxing is trying to keep up. They're trying to not lose their position. I think that move with TNT yesterday was a good look. Like I thought that was a real.
They need to take a hard look at Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix. I'm just gonna. They need to take a hard look at those two guys. And I don't think those guys are the right guys.
I don't think they're too bad, bro.
Bro, I can't stand them. I can't stand them.
At least Sergio Mora is like honest with his shit. You know
bro, he's just honest talking dumb shit to me. He's just honest talking. Bro, yeah. I'm not defending that dude, bro.
Sergio is super opinionated for sure. He's super opinionated, right? So what does that mean? That means that he's gonna say.
Well, we all are. We all are. We all are opinion, but his opinions are retarded. To me, they are.
I do find Mannix has had to Mannix has definitely had to let me see if always have you sold them yet? No, I haven't sold them. Mannix has had to correct Sergio Mora so many times, without a doubt. He's had to correct him so many times on different things, man. It is what it is, though. I'm not gonna get bad on Sergio. I think Sergio is just doing him. Is he one of my favorite? No, not at all, bro. He's not one of my favorite at all. There's definitely way better than him. But this team last night, bringing it full circle on TNT, was a great team, man. I thought they had a great chemistry. I think Sean Porter's a great commentator, by the way. I think he does a good job at it. I think his suits are diabolical, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, I think that man was crazy last night. I was like,
it brings it in though. That's what he does. You know, it gets you to say something about it. You see what I'm saying? So I know what he's doing. You know, what I mean? But
that dude is crazy, bro. Like he came on there with the circus. He looked like the circus, the circus ringmaster.
Remember the King Crunch cereal?
Oh, bro, he looked like he was about to hit us with a ladies and gentlemen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, Clay. I'm hearing a lot of talks about the controversy, whatever. I look as far as the main event, the right man won regardless. You could have given Bell the first 6 rounds, clean it up, 6-0, and still Mason would have won that fight without the referee's help. He still would have won that fight if it would have gone to 12 because he would have had the 10-7 round. He would have won the fight regardless. It wouldn't have been a draw. It wouldn't have been anything.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm just saying it wouldn't have been a draw regardless of the fact a 10-7 round in the 12th that wins the fight. That wins the fight for.
And the reason why Mason. I said draw because I don't know the WBO, right? I don't know their rule set on the rounds. I mean on the knockdowns. Like I know WBC only has 8-10 rounds, so I don't know they don't go past 8. So I don't know if any other sanctioning body does that.
But even in a 10-8, but even a 10-8 would have won the fight for him because he would have been 1 round up.
But you're saying if somebody gets knocked down 3 times in a round, the lowest you can go is 10-8?
Yeah, and WBC is only 10-8 rounds. They only score 10-8 rounds.
Really?
Yes.
I never heard of that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, they put it out there. They put it out there. I think on the Earl Spence Terence Crawford fight, they put it out there. I think that's when they announced
I'll look that up. I haven't seen that myself.
Yeah. I always thought that you go down, you lose a point, man.
Nah, man. WBA only does 10-8 rounds.
Yeah.
WBC, excuse me. But I just wanted to know because I was like, I don't know if that's something they're adapting and all.
Yeah, but even still, Ray. But even still,
my whole thing is, see, this is where we differ, right? Like I said, I think that 10th round was a very tough round to score, right? And I gave Bell the last 2 minutes of that round. I think he started taking control. You've seen Abdullah Mason dad get back in his face and say, "What are we doing? Why you go back to that hell and shit?" He literally cursed him out on camera.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, you know what I mean? So to me, that says something that's significant from what I've seen. Now, a lot of people didn't see that 10th round going that way. It's okay. I'm not here to tell anybody what they see, but what I've seen is I think Bell stole that round, and him still in that round puts it closer, puts it at 7-5, right, with the 2 knockdowns, which will be, an even fight, in my opinion. Actually, it might have been 1 point with 2 knockdowns.
I think last night was an interesting night of judging because, 2 cards went kind of how I saw it, but we had another card that went completely the other way. You know what I'm saying? It had to be super close. And I think those kind of fights, you got certain intangibles like effective aggression, What does that look like? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? What makes aggression effective? You know what I'm saying? And I think Abdullah Mason was towing the line on that conversation, right? Because there was the clean movement in the boxing of Albert Bell, and he was, touching him with that right hand. He was letting his hands go, and at points was looking like a matador in that ring. You know what I'm saying? Controlling it that way, right? But then there was this other aspect of the fight to where Abdullah Mason was effectively touching the body. He was slowing Albert Bell down, and you was seeing the effects on Albert Bell's face. You saw him, getting the wear and tear of what Abdullah Mason was doing. And you also saw Abdullah Mason being relentless, right? I thought also Abdullah Mason did a good job of really not collapsing the pocket. He had moments when that happened, but for the most part, he worked inside of those clinches. You know what I'm saying? When Bell tried to tie him up, he made the space and was ripping shots to the body, ripping hooks. He was hitting him with these shots where Albert Bell wasn't controlling him. So this was about judges and what they like, right? This was about judges who appreciate that type of boxing versus judges who appreciate the movement and, like I said, that matador energy that Albert Bell was showing. Me, I find myself more resonating with the aggression last night from Abdullah Mason. I felt like Albert Bell was doing what he was doing, but I felt like what he was doing wasn't going nowhere. I felt like unless you could maintain what you was doing around 3, 4, 5, and 6 for the rest of that whole fight, eventually what Abdullah Mason was doing was looking like it was weathering you away. It was taking away, and ultimately showed up in the championship rounds to where you have nothing left. He was completely exhausted, falling out. You know what I mean? You gotta give credit to Abdullah Mason for what he was doing, for why that ended up looking like that.
There was 2 different fights that happened in there. The first 6 rounds, you had 2 fighters who were both trying to win a fight, and from round 7 to 12, only one fighter was trying to win a fight.
I think the dominance of that,
and that's the difference of that fight. Abdullah Mason beat the fight out of Bell. He beat the fight out of him. That guy was not trying to win the fight. I'm sorry. At what point in the second half was he trying to win the fight?
I agree.
He wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like he stepped up to like Xander did with Boots and like, bro, I'm trying to do what I got, what we can do, and if I get knocked out, I get knocked out, right? Well, we didn't see that from Bell. Bell was just trying to survive and trying to make it to the. So I mean, it's a tale of two sides of that fight, two different fights, and I believe that regardless of the fact Mason did what he was supposed to do, he needs to clean up whatever's going on in that corner because he was defiant. His corner wanted to keep on going to the body, and he said it even the podium. But I heard I was losing the fight. He used that. I turned into Superman and tried to get it, whatever. But no, he said I needed to go headhunting because I needed to get this guy out of here because I was losing the fight. And so his father wanted the body shots, and he was all up in his grill about it. Not only one round, it was a couple rounds. He was all up in his grill. And Mason said it. Oh yeah, my team wanted me to go to that, but I took control of it, and that's on him. But can that down the line be problematic for him versus a real killer? Who knows? As far as Albert Bell, it's going to be hard for the man to get a fight. It's going to be hard for the man to get another fight, worthiness, and he may have to go against a real shark, maybe a real shark out there that wants to get a name, right, or something to that effect, and maybe have to take that.
Is he one of those fighters that might need to go and go into some shark infested waters? Like might he need to go to 140 to see if he can make it up there? Might he, does he have to be a fighter who does that kind of stuff to get the big fights? Is he just somebody who's not going to be able to get the big fights at 135 because of those intangibles, because of the height, because of the range, and because of the way he fights? People just aren't going to voluntarily fight him. Maybe at 140 he'll get some more game opponents, but that means it's also going to get more dangerous, bigger punchers, bigger fighters. You know what I'm saying? Abdullah Mason looked like he was bigger than him in his own way, right? He wasn't taller, but he was a bigger fighter.
And Mason's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's the thing is he's 33 years old. So I mean that clock is ticking. And so whatever he's got to do, he's got to face, I don't know, Godzilla and get in that ring to make a name. That's what he's gonna have to do. Because he cannot afford to take no eeny, meeny, miny, mo guy because he's just going to look too good. He's going to, and elusive. And, he was doing excellent in those first 6 rounds. I will not take nothing away from Albert Bell because he was winning that fight the first half. He was definitely winning that fight. Some had it 4-2. Some had it 6-0. And so I think he was doing great. He looked calm in the pocket. He looked calm throughout the fight. He was on point. So I mean, whatever he's gonna have to do to get himself to the next whatever, he's gonna have to do it. Just do it. Yo, they want me to fight Godzilla. That's what I'm gonna fight. And forget about it. And hopefully he roll the dice.
If he has an opportunity to go to 140 and, you know what I'm saying, make a big fight happen with, let's say, you know, an Isak Cruz or
Matias coming off a loss already, maybe something like that.
Yeah, like just a fight for some, you know, a fight where he's not favored to win at all. You know what I mean? A fight where he's gonna have to show up and upset the odds. But on the back end of a victory in that fight, boom, he's in the conversation. He might have to do it. I don't think at 135 anybody's going to give him that kind of an opportunity.
Nope.
I just don't see it. Not right now.
Nope.
This is what I would state, though, to your point, HLD. I think when you want to talk about effective aggression, I can give that to Abdullah Mason all night. He definitely ran that throughout the boxing match. But I think what we're looking at is the clean and effective punching, and then the like I said, the ring generalship and somewhat the defense for most of the fight. I think what's the name being put on the back foot, Albert Bell being on the back foot, it showed a lot of scoring for him. And that's why I was saying, like, there's a lot of there was 2 rounds I had could have went either way. But then for the definitely 2 through 6, he definitely dominated that fight in the first round. I did give him those rounds because I thought that he did more of the the ring generalship of those rounds, and I thought he controlled it a little bit. But it is what it is, man. The fight's over. I like the aggression of Abdullah Mason. I think that it got him the victory, no matter what the case is. I wouldn't have been mad if it was scored the way that Clay had it scored, and actually the scorecard says that. I wouldn't have been mad at all.
He rolled the dice. He rolled the dice yesterday, man. Mason, he said, "Hey, I got to win it on my abilities. On my abilities."
I hear you. And I hear that. And like I said, that day he's an inside fighter, bro. As much as we want to tell him to use a jab because he has the length, he's a guy that thrives when he's inside the pocket with these guys. He thrives. He gets these guys up out of there. He hurts them, and he has better connection ratio. So I think that aggressiveness is exactly where he needs to be. Anything outside, I think he's basically on an island a little bit, and I think his athleticism goes away, to say the least, in my opinion.
I don't think he's all that athletic. I don't see extreme speed. Do you guys see that? I don't see that out of Mason. Out of Mason?
Yeah.
Mason has, let me tell you what Mason has, right? Mason, you know who got, first of all, we didn't talk about him. By the way, we didn't talk about him, but Ibrahim Mason, that young bull, the 20-year-old, he the Mason.
He the Mason.
He the Mason.
He built.
Remember I told you, he the Mason.
Hey, he's a Serena Williams. Like, you know, when Venus was coming up and they said, nah, it's a little sister. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the one building the bricks.
He's the one at he's only 3-0. So listen, man, we got a lot more to see from him. I'm not sitting here trying to get this dude the crown and all like that, but he is super technical. Very watch that fight last night. Super technical on his jab, very defensive and responsible, controlling the distance, not allowing the pocket to collapse on him, touching that body. He busted that dude to the body. Like I love watching prospects stop people with body shots, bro. There's something about those body shots because it takes a certain amount of patience and accuracy to put those shots together in the right way. Once he gets going, that offense he's the one. Ibrahim Mason, by the way, I'm gonna bring it back full circle to Abdullah. Yeah, Abdullah Mason doesn't have all out speed like that, right? But what I believe he has is when he's on the inside, he looks fast. When he's ripping those shots, and another thing about Abdullah Mason, he's strong as hell, bro.
Yes,
he's strong as hell, bro, and that plays out inside of those mid-range. When Albert Bell was trying to tie him up, bro, look at how he was ripping away from him and busting that dude's body up, bro. Albert was like, I cannot get this dude together. He was so strong. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of has like an Errol Spence, Jaron Ennis hybrid thing about him. You know what I'm saying? Where he's gonna come forward, beat that body. He's not full of layers. He's not this fighter who has all these wrinkles. But what he has is damn near it's one of those things where you're gonna know what's coming at you. The question is, can you stop him from coming at you like that? Can you? If you can't, it's gonna be a bad night for you, bro. If you can't get that respect from him, he's going to run through all that shit you're doing. He's gonna hurt you, bro. Just like Errol Spence was doing to everybody until he ran into a Bud Crawford who was stronger than him or just as strong as him, was able to be like, nah, you're not doing that to me, though. You're not doing that. You could do that to a bunch of, you're not doing that to me, though. Now, what's the next level that you got in your game? If you don't have another level, it's gonna be a bad night for you.
I could see that. I see that Spence. I see what you're saying with the Spence thing. It does give you that vibe, because Spence isn't a speed demon. But he was solid, strong.
But inside that range, you get Errol Spence inside of that close range for 20 seconds, he's doing bad shit to you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not wasting no time. He gets active on the inside to the point to where he's beating up on you fast to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can go real bad for you. I don't care how much you had it under control. That's going to be the big thing with Abdullah Mason. It's going to be, can you get that respect? And I think only the big punchers, the Floyd Schofield Jr.'s, certain, I would say like maybe a William Zepeda could give him some issues. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, because of the way he fights. But you're not going to, like, I don't think Lamont Rose is going to be able to do nothing with him, bro.
With Mason?
Yeah, I know people going to say, I don't think so, bro. I think Lamont going to get touched.
I got to see it. I got to see it with both of those guys, because those guys are much more experienced than what he just faced. Yeah, and so I got to see it. I'm not going to say that he ain't got the advantage or not, but I'm going to say I got to see it, especially either one of those two guys. I mean, I hope we see Abdullah Mason again this year, somewhere in December. I want to see him again. We need to see him in December.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be Cordina, and I was kind of against that last night. I was like, nah, man, why he got to do that? But I think Cordina is going to get his ass beat. I don't think Cordina has the.
He's going to break down. He's going to break down.
He's going to break down. I think he's going to be a good fight for Abdullah Mason. But he a champion now. What do you think? How much longer do you see him staying at 135? HLD.
He's 22. Mm-hmm. He could. That youth is an extra superpower. So he might be able to run it up till he's about 24. Man, who knows? He could probably do it till he's about 24, maybe pushing 25. So I guess also the landscape at 140 has a lot to do with that too. So top rank. It's not only about how you feel, but what's available for you, what you can do, and so. The business and the chess move. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes for him.
His management team has fighters at 140. That's pretty much a slowdown. We'll see how that works out, though. I mean, they are clearing out the division. I'm not trying to be funny. It looks like they're moving Shakur back to 135. Mason may go to 140, and then you'll have Keyshawn rocking at 147. So that may be the play going forward. We may. You
think Shakur's coming back down to 135? I think we got a new helm of the young bucks taking over 135, and the old regime is out. The Tanks, the Haynes, the T.O.s.
I want to say that.
I think Shakur touches 135 real quick. I think he touches it, and I think he'll fight like a Rayo Venezuela, or he'll fight Shaki Foster or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think when he does that, I think he's going to realize he don't want to do it again. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think
it's too hard. It's too hard. It was easy to make 140.
Listen,
he's going to be like, I don't really want to do that.
But if
I also think that Devin Haney fight is going to happen between him and Shakur.
If he's at Zuffa, man, if he's at Zuffa, you're only going to have 147 and 135. There's no 140, so he's going to have.
That argument is in the trash. I got to stop and separate and understand that
there's no more league right now.
They don't fall underneath Zuffa rules. They don't. That's not.
I understand that, Clay.
They do whatever they want.
I defended that. But if they're fighting on a Zuffa card, they may get put.
Brother, they are above.
So you're saying they're never going to fight on a Zuffa card?
Never. If they fight on a Zuffa card, they will fight where they feel like fighting at. Mark my words. Watch. Okay. They can call it a catchweight fight. They will not fall underneath. Shakur Stevenson will not be wearing Zuffa shorts. You know what I'm saying? This is not what he's not.
I got you. No, I got you. You ain't got to explain to me. I've been building on that for a minute. They're
not doing that. When they come in, Dana's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to have them where they're supposed to be, which is those guys aren't like you guys though. They're not even. That's not what those guys do. Those guys do what they want to do. And if that's the case, then they'll never be on a Zuffa card. You feel me?
They would have to pay him a crazy amount of money.
100%.
Because HLD has been on the panel with me when I've said this. So, he's been against certain things. And he'll tell you that.
About what?
No, when I said that they'll be fighting on like ring cards and like Netflix and stuff like that, they'll be on the pay-per-view side of things or the outside skirts of Zuffa fighting. I've said that. They'll be defending their belts and things like that.
They'll be on Zuffa promoted cards.
Right.
They won't be on Zuffa like how
they pivoted. I've said that Zuffa right now has had to pivot their initial game plan. They wanted to come in steamroll with the whole Zuffa League thing, but without the Revival Act being passed yet, they can't do none of that. So they have to pivot because what they're gonna do, they can't wait. They got to keep the business going. So they're now a regular promotional company.
And Zuffa's not providing the entertainment to bring in that kind of money. You cannot pay like Conor Ben. Conor Ben's a Zuffa fighter, right? He's not fighting on no Zuffa card, bro. They can't pay this man however millions. I don't know how many millions they gave this dude and have him headlining a damn Zuffa card, bro. It's just not going to add up. You know what I'm saying? Paramount's not paying these dudes, by the way. Paramount's not paying Shakur Stevenson. They're not paying Devin Haney. They're not paying Conor Ben. It's Turkey who's paying it.
Right.
He's just allowing them to be on the Zuffa card. So their pedigree and their conversation is just a different conversation altogether. If Shakur wants to fight at 140, trust you, me, that's where it's going to happen at.
Nothing is set in stone. They could play out. They can move the chessboard pieces any way they want. So I mean. I look, man. Bottom line is they got a gazillion $billion over there. So whatever they want to do is what's gonna happen. If they want something to happen, we got the money to make it happen, and it's just that way. That's it. It just the answer to all these problems is money.
It's like you when you're one of them. It's like when you come to the club and you know the owner and you know the security. You come to the door. You don't do what everybody else do. They don't even pat you down. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody tries to come at you like, but the rules of the club is you ain't gonna do that over there because the rules is, and like I'm not part of that conversation, brother. That's you. You wait on the line. You wait. They make sure a certain amount of girls get in before they let you in. You sit on the long line. I know it is not me. When I come up there, the gates open. My section is ready. You know what I'm saying? I got
open
the strap
bar, no limit.
I got the strap on me. Nobody checking for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm different. I'm not like you guys.
Exclusive club. I got it. An exclusive club. Listen, man.
Guys.
I got a question, and I'm not bringing this up because I support Devin Haney. What do you think about Tiger Johnson getting into the ring with him? I don't think he's ready for that fight like that, bro. Seeing what I seen last night, he looks.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready for Devin.
He looks entirely slow. I'm not trying to be funny. He looks slow. We were talking about it on Frequent Channel. I say maybe Richard Hitchens. I wrote down a few more guys. I was like, even I think Teofimo will get him up out of there. Brian Norman get him up out of there. I think Arnold Barbosa would be a good fight to test himself. Even Jack Catterall may be a good fight.
I think Barbosa. I love Barbosa.
Hitchens.
I think Brian Norman would be a great fight for Tiger Johnson.
Really?
Straight up.
Okay.
I think Polanco. I think Brian
Polanco
Norman.
Get him up out of there, bro.
I still think it's a great fight. I think
it's a great fight. I think they're on the same level, man.
Yeah.
The only thing skill wise, I think the only thing that one guy's got thumped. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right.
He'll be able to work, man. I think he's going to be a fighter in his next 3 to 5 fights. You're going to see him get better every fight. I think what he's doing with Bomac, I think Bomac being over there, as Bomac and him get on the same page, you're going to see him. He's going to improve fast.
Yeah,
I got a feeling because he has the pedigree to do it. It's about the pedigree. He has the acumen to do it. He just, now that he has somebody who can wield the knowledge, who can bring the wisdom, which is Bomac, I'm expecting better things out of Tiger Johnson. How far will they go with Tiger Johnson? I don't know. I think he will get a title shot. He maybe even become a champion at 147. You know what I'm saying? He maybe even become a champion.
We'll see. I got Tiger Johnson as one of those guys who also has plateaued for me. But given that he took the advice, and I'm not saying he took it directly from me, but I told him that, bro. Your coach Prince is not the dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the dude. You need to reevaluate that, because what we saw in that one fight that I on Top Rank that I was talking about was to me was abysmal. So I'm gonna give him the chance because he is with a future Hall of Fame coach, and we'll see where it goes. Tiger can become similarly to like a Keyshawn, He's got that time, you know.
He can do that.
He can do that, but he gasses. I don't know. To me, he gasses out too much for me. I think I don't know if he's gassing out, but either he gasses out or bro, you got to let go of them hands. You got to become more menacing because you got the build for it and you got to do it. And so I don't know what it is, but hey, maybe that's what that Bomac team is gonna do. Just like Bernie Mac says, you know, hey, these guys don't want to come because they don't want to put in the work. And maybe, you know, maybe he'll change it up.
He definitely got to live a clean life too. He got to do it right. He got to live a clean life. He got to move. He got to be disciplined outside the ring. I don't know how he lives outside the ring. I don't know who he is outside the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you got to really be committed to being what you need to be outside the ring in order for it to translate into the ring as a real champion. We'll see how he carries it. We'll see how
he'll get the IBO championship and we'll call him the IBO champ.
Hey,
whatever
listen,
it
man,
is, bro.
Okay with that.
I think all criticism is justified. I think that Tiger Johnson is definitely not shown and proved that he's elite in any kind of way. And I'm saying he hasn't shown that, and you got to earn that. Right. The conversations he's trying to get in when you're calling out Devin Haney in the middle of the ring, this is the conversation that's going to happen about you.
Yeah, it's not. It was not. It was. I mean, I guess they asked him maybe, or was it that he put it out?
I mean, he got a legitimate beef. We got to give him his respect and allow him to talk his shit because he got jumped by the whole team. So he's allowed to sit up in there and say F-bomb the whole entire crew and come see me. You know what I'm saying?
He's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready for
the match. Yeah, I don't think he's ready. I think
he's not ready for anything. I think Barboza, like you guys just mentioned, Polanco.
What do you think about him and Tito Mercado? Oh no, Tito Mercado's 140.
He's 140.
But he can move up. It's only 7 pounds. Tito can move up and make the fight happen. I think
Tito need to find a home, bro. I thought he was good, and it turns out he's still homeless. He's still out here looking for shelter.
I thought he signed. Didn't he sign to Matchroom?
He said that was a Misfits really with DMG, whatever. He said that was a one-off, man. He says he's still free agent. You know what I'm saying? So
what? How's that guy a free agent? I'm not saying he's like but bro, he's known. He's not a what the heck?
I mean, he's having a hard time getting the big fights, and he seems like one of those dudes who talk bigger than they really are. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody like Eddie Hearn gonna look at him and be like, "Then go show me, bro. Go outside and go get that because I ain't giving you that."
Well, he did. He did do that in the last fight, right? He did show up.
Man, he showed up against would you say a guy who sells corn in the cup?
That was worse than.
But he did better than Shushu.
He did, but he did it with. I mean, it was to a guy who sold corn in the cup, bro. I'm a Tito Mercado fan, bro. I like Tito Mercado, but that fight ain't it.
That wasn't even a cab driver.
Yeah, but he can't get it though. He's only
waving a cab.
That was a cab driver with a suspended license.
He's only doing what he can or what's under his control. They put him in front of me and I knock him out. But for him to be free agent, is it because he thinks he knows better and what he thinks he's overinflated worth or something? Because that makes no sense. Nobody has signed them.
It might be money.
That's what I believe.
It might be money.
Right?
I believe he wants because when you look at his conversation, it's always Shakur, Keyshawn. He's always calling out these you guys is running from me, and it's like
he reminds me of.
Are they? I don't know.
He reminds me of.
Listen, I'm not saying he'll beat him, but he's damn sure good enough. I think he'll give them a fight. But go ahead.
He just reminds me of Schofield's. They talked themselves into the conversation. They were ranked number whatever all the way, but because of their barking and talking and all this stuff, they were able to get that fight. Because he was like ranked number 13th when they put him versus a Shakur or something like that. Like, bro, he had no business, but they talked him there. So this kid is doing the same thing. He's talking his way, trying to get himself into. I don't like it. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I can't stand hearing him talk. I'd rather watch him in the ring. But when he starts yapping, but I know what he's doing, and he doesn't have a promoter, so who's gonna then do it for him? He's gonna have to do it for himself, I guess. But Rody did the same thing too.
I think he should go to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he should go to Zuffa. Period. That's how I feel.
Yes.
I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys who think everybody should go to Zuffa. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. But I think Tito, You should go to Zuffa. I think you should get over there with Richardson Hitchens. I think you should go to 147. You should go in there in that conversation with Richardson Hitchens. All those guys over there at 147. I think you should go up there and do your thing. I don't think nobody's going to get you what you want at 140. 140 is locked in right now. Gary Antoine Russell. For now, Shakur, you know what I'm saying? But it looks like Emiliano Vargas is going to creep up in there. I just got this feeling he's about to creep up in there and grab a title. And I think Shakur is going to vacate a title. Then you got, Dalton Smith. And then, you know what I'm saying? Who else you got up there? And then you got not Lewis. You got Liam Powell right now, right? Who just beat Lewis Crocker. So that thing is kind of like, Tito, you need to, or go back to Matchroom. That's it, right? Go back to Matchroom. And let Eddie Hearn move around with you.
How old is this kid, man?
On the clock, Clay.
How old is Tito Mercado? Is he still under 25?
Let's see.
Because at one point, the clock is going to start ticking, bro. And yeah, because that matters. I mean, that's going to matter.
Ernesto Mercado is 24 years old.
He's got maybe a year of this goofing around where I'm going to fight at, who I'm going to sign with. Maybe. And then he's going to have to make a decision because he's going to, boxing's too short, man.
He has to get some money because at the end of the day, I think he's in that place. I think he's in that place where he needs to get money. It's not even about the legacy no more. Legacy is cool. Get the legacy, but don't get old and not have and money.
I think Zuffa. I think you hit it right on the nail, Clay. I think Zuffa would be fitting for him if he doesn't get anything. And yo, man, get paid, bro. I mean, it is what it is. At the bottom line, all these guys are fighting to get paid, and if you're not getting a paycheck, then what the heck are you doing? So it is what it is.
I think there's a route to something legacy for him over there. Like eventually, if he, I think what fighters like Ernesto Tito Mercado are missing TV time. Yep. You know what I'm saying? They're missing that. And Eddie's not going to give him that because he needs to be on the main card in order to get that. And he's still doing undercards for Diego Pacheco. That ain't cutting it.
No.
That ain't going to do it for you.
But him on TNT last night would have been awesome.
That would have been the move.
Yep. Him on TNT, that should have been yo, how much you get? You just going to give me $25? Okay, man, whatever. It's $25, but I'm going to be on TNT. Primetime, Crawford talking about me. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. You have to gamble. So these guys got to understand that you got to know how to play the game and gamble because some things are gonna pay off more than others. But man, imagine last night Tito Mercado being spoken about with Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, and Tim Bradley. Oh man, this kid is sensational, bro. He showed that thump. Saw how he knocked that dude out, even though he was a corner on the cob guy. It don't matter. He knocked him out. You know what I mean? And that would have been awesome.
If he could speak Lindolfo Delgado, get that fight for the IBF, would that be something to move the needle? That might be a move. He has to scream his name and like show up at the gym and all types of shit to ruffle his feathers to get that fight for that IBF. Do y'all think that's a good idea?
Yeah,
that'll get the needle moving for him, right?
If at 135 the Herrera guy was able to get himself into an interim WBC belt, how can Tito not be able to do the same?
Yeah, I think he needs, but he ain't got no promotional. That's the thing. So
well,
he needs to move the needle. That's what I'm saying. He needs to do the Marvin
whoever it is, man. If it's King Kong and Godzilla on that other side, you gotta take it because you got no time. You gotta take it and then show out. You gotta gamble on yourself and say, yeah, this is my time.
Listen. Teach doesn't like Tito Mercado. They must have had to run him somewhere.
He called out Shakur. Maybe.
That's what it is. Maybe, he giving old HLD energy when it comes to Tito, bro. That's crazy.
Hey guys, man. Well, that's all I wrote, man. I just wanted to come in for a little bit and hit you guys with some.
Trees.
Is he here? Is Trees here?
Trees is that you popped up. Trees, hit that link.
Hold on, I gotta hear this dude.
Don't waste not one more minute. It's Sunday. I'm not trying to hit that link, bro.
Hey, Trees, man, you and I we're in the same boat right now, bro. Back-to-back weekends, bro. So it's all good.
Bring your ass over here. Bring that ass here, boy.
He's cooking some crow.
Nah, man.
I'm not even hit the link. I ain't even trying to laugh at you, but I definitely need to get.
Damn, he ain't trying to laugh at you, but he's laughing. That's crazy that he said that.
I need to know where it went wrong, Trees. I need to know where it went wrong. I need you to talk to me, man. Talk to me, Trees. Tell me
His
where
phone ain't working
bro.
right now, bro.
He ain't working. It's Sunday. He work at night. You work at night, bro.
The caller you have dialed.
Hit that link, right? Bring that ass here. Bring that ass
There
here.
Yo, man.
There you go.
He here, Clay.
There he goes. There he goes. Trees in the building. What up, Trees?
Hey, back to back losing, man.
Yow. What up, though?
Hey, what up, though? Hey, man, we not about to act like that wasn't a bullshit stoppage. That's all I'm gonna say. That was a bullshit stoppage. My guy was doing work. We was winning until we wasn't, man. I'm not gonna lie. The motherfucker Abdullah Mason, he came out. He did what he had to do in that last round. I'm a little horse around this bitch. I was in there going crazy. But hey, man, I like the performance we put on. I know boxing is bullshit. You feel me? I will say, I don't know if niggas saw that Scooter Davis fight. I thought he lost that fight.
Oh, bro, he definitely lost that fight. That's a
but
fact.
Hey, man, that's boxing for you. I was literally sitting next to this old lady. She like, oh, the Spanish or Mexican guy, whatever, he doing good. I think they gonna give him the. I had to tell her, I'm like, oh man, you must not. This is boxing. They're not gonna give him that win, unfortunately. And then they literally hit him with the boom bop bam. Yeah,
that was crazy.
Scooter Davis got the crazy. Yeah, Scooter Davis got the dub. But like I said, I'm proud of Albert Bell, man. I'm proud of my guy, man.
I'm proud of him too, for sure.
We still in the mix. That shit don't look. I feel like that don't look bad upon me. I thought we did. I thought he did. He showed a good performance, man. Motherfuckers ain't gonna make me feel bad for riding with my guy. I thought he did well. He was winning. Like I said, he was winning, man. He was looking good out there. Yeah, man. That 12th round. That was our first time going 12 rounds. Of course, that was gonna be a factor. I thought he looked good though. Like I said, that referee pissed me off with that stoppage though. I'm not gonna lie. Like he said at the end, man, if he let him go out on this shield, man. If we get
wink after the stoppage,
you seen the nasty wink that Coach Bermudez, where the hell you at?
I was looking in the crowd too. I'm like, yo, it's Coach.
Yeah, I said that yesterday, Coach Bermudez.
That shit's sick, man. I'm like, this shit's sick.
Yo, Trees, do you blame it was Jay Prince who was sitting on that other side?
I know it's Jay. I know what the fuck was going on, man. I already knew. I knew better. I was telling someone, I'm like, even if it had went to the decision and he didn't stop him, they weren't gonna give us that win anyway. It was they gonna tell you got to beat the champion and all this bullshit. You know how.
He was gonna lose the fight with those 2 knockdowns, regardless. Trees. He was gonna lose the fight.
Exactly.
But 2 things can be true, and Clay's been pushing on it. The man deserved to get a 10-8 count, and if he was still okay to go, let him be. And that was messed up. I think the right man was gonna win anyway. On the cards, or if on a stoppage eventually later on in that round, but the man deserved to try to get to that final bell, and that was wrong. That left everybody with a bad taste in their mouth.
Exactly. But shout out to Abdullah, man. Like I say, I was going to the fight regardless. Before I found out Albert Bell got substituted in, I had my ticket. We was going to see Abdullah no matter what. Albert Bell got in there. I became a little biased, but that's my guy though. Like I said, we still in the mix. I know boxing is political. It's a whole lot of bullshit, but I'm seeing all these other loser ass niggas get second title shots. Why can't my guy? We got 12 rounds up under our belt now. Well, 11 and a half, I should say. We seen what it looked like in them championship rounds. You feel me? We should be able to be granted another title shot against some of these guys. If a vacant title happened, we need to be in. If Cepeda could get a fucking title shot, why can't my guy? You see me?
Yeah, I agree.
This is all I'm saying. T.O. got knocked. I mean, not T.O., but Pitbull Cruz got knocked the fuck out. He got another title shot. You feel me? My guy should be able to get a title shot.
That's all get knocked out.
It's the style of fights, though, Trees. That in the business.
Well, I'm talking about. I meant to say Rolly. When Rolly got beat the hell up, got another title shot. Point being, we should be able to get another title shot. Whether it's this division, the next division, whatever, we need to be in the mix with some of these motherfuckers. Edwin De Los Santos or something. He coming off a loss. Maybe that'd be a good fight for Albert Bell. Motherfucking.
I like that.
Like it's guys out here, man. It's a lot of names out here. I want to see my guy in the ring with prime competition. We can always double back to that Andy Cruz fight. I feel like that's still a fight I would like to see. You feel me? We still around here, man. Fuck that. I'm not giving up on my guy. This shit not over, man. I don't throw my fighters away like some of you other loser ass niggas. Oh, what Canelo?
Albert Bell is definitely not a fighter to be thrown out at all. I mean, I think like I said, we were just having a conversation, and I'm going to ask you the question. You know, at 135, it doesn't look like nobody's going to show that man no love. I mean, that was about as much love he was going to get getting in the ring with Abdullah Mason. I mean, you know him better than any of us do. Can this guy make 140? Because it looks like he's going to have to put himself into some like real danger in a real situation to where he's not favored in order to get an opportunity. I don't think he gets it at 135. What do you think about him going to 140?
Yeah, he fought at 140 before in the past, but he came down like just to get just to get fights and shit. He had to fight at 140 in the past. He had like 2 fights way in the past, but like it's fights out there from like Frank Martin if he available. That's a fight event I would like to see from my guy. I was hearing y'all talk that Tito Mercado
at 140,
shit.
right?
Yeah, at 140. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. 135 though, is he cooked or is
no? I don't think he cooked. Like I say, he took the fight on short notice. He took the fight on 10 days notice. He didn't.
Bro, that man ain't fought in like 15 months, man.
Hey, that's not the point, man. He took the fight on short notice.
I know, but what I'm saying is, how long is he gonna have to wait this time around to get a big fight?
Oh, that I can't tell you. I mean, he got to heal up, and then you got to heal up. He got to, I mean, I don't know. I probably don't see him fighting again until next year if that's what he want to do. I mean, shit, we fight, we move. It's possible.
I think 140 is where he needs to go. I think he has to go.
And he's a 6-footer, right? He's like 6 feet tall. Yeah. He's a big dude. Another name, and whether they would take it or not, but I think it would be a good name for them to want to take is Emiliano Vargas, bro. He's talking about wanting to move into that type of stratosphere of championship belts and whatever. Hey, I think I 140 Emiliano Vargas.
I like that fight. I mean, it's guys out there, but
it's gonna be hard, Treese. It's gonna be hard because your man clearly is a high risk, high reward.
That's the thing, and I'm not gonna. That's what pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. That's what had me like. It was hard enough for motherfuckers to give us the fight. We was being black, like I say. Motherfuckers was ducking and dodging my fighter for a very long time, and you feel me. So
you proved that why yesterday.
Exactly. The fact that we put on, we kind of needed this dub to solidify not solidify ourselves. I feel like we solidified. That shit don't matter to me.
You got his respect. I'm gonna tell you that.
I know he can box. I know we good. But the point is, like, I now motherfuckers really is like, okay, I really don't have to fight him now. Woof, thank God he lost. I can really stay away from him now. It's gonna be that kind of shit going on. But yeah, man. And Claymore,
talk to me.
To me, this shows that Shakur was ducking and dodging my fighter. I'm sorry. I'm still under that impression. I know that. Because let me ask you something. Is Shakur punching like Abdullah Mason?
No.
Oh, all right. That's all. We gonna leave it there. But hey, man, shout out to Albert Bill, my guy, Alberto Campana. We not giving up on you, gang. Like I say, he got it.
Real quick, what do you think about Albert Bell versus Kelvin Davis?
We beat the fuck out of Kelvin Davis.
Yo, listen, I think Albert Bell.
Kelvin Davis ain't taking that fight.
I know, but I'm just saying for a fight. Like, would that be a good fight for him to take that fight?
He had 147 too, I think, or he moved.
Oh, yeah, he went up to 147.
Yeah, he went up. Yeah,
did he go to 147?
Yeah, he went up. Yeah, he not taking that fight. He got some sense. He not taking that fight.
Hey, Trees, I want to give you your flowers. Your people in Ohio, you guys came out. You guys showed out in that stadium. It looked beautiful on TV. The energy was awesome. You guys, man, we need more. I've been saying we need more of these grassroots fights, but Ohio showed out yesterday. It was awesome to see an electrified crowd in a little, grassroots type of state. But it was awesome. You guys did your thing, man. I give you guys your flowers for that.
Everybody cooking me right now for Kelvin. Hey, the reason I said Kelvin Davis is everybody cooking me. The reason I said Kelvin is I thought he can get on a Keyshawn card, on a big card again. I mean, maybe on the main card again and show up and show out. Maybe get on a TNT, situation. You know what I'm saying? As far as access is why I said it. But I think he beats the shit out of Kelvin Davis. But I'm saying that might be an entry into the club. You know what I mean? You know somebody who knows somebody, you know what I mean? Type of situation. He ain't somebody, but that gets you on a certain card. But everybody gonna cook me. It is what it is.
He's got to talk to Conceição's manager. Whoever his Conceição's manager is, who's been getting him all these big fights no matter how many times he loses.
Listen, man, you ain't know Conceição. I keep telling you, Conceição is Bernie the boxer, bro. Y'all don't see it. Y'all ain't noticed that, did y'all?
Must be, but it's a couple of fights.
He just be quiet when he be in the ring.
The 2 fights I want for it's like 3 fights at 140 I want for gang. Like I say, that Frank Martin fight I would like. I would like that motherfucking what's my man, the Japanese nigga who lost to Gary Hirioka.
Hirioka.
Yeah, Andy Hirioka.
Ain't nobody want that dude.
I don't think nobody want to fight him, bro. Maybe
that's a
Tito.
fight.
Tito
You want to fight? He's gonna
be
be fighting with him.
Tito.
Albert fight him. He gonna be fighting.
That's
him
a
and
fact.
if Albert fight him, they gonna be fighting, bro. That's a fact. They're gonna be fighting.
I would like that fight. Or shit, the British motherfucker who had lost to Pat with Mark Chamberlain. I would like that. That's running. That's one of Turkey guys.
I like that. I like that.
If we could beat one of Turkey guys, that'll put us in good graces to get some big fights. Turkey up the bag for my guy. We need to beat Mark Chamberlain.
Is Mark? I think Mark is fighting at 140 right now, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we need to go. We might have to go ahead and get
I like the energy right there. Okay.
Yeah. And Jermaine Ortiz, wherever you at.
He's about to move to 47.
He was at the Boots fight. He looked like he's ready. He's in shape, bro. Yo, Jermaine, you ready? You're about to announce a fight, ain't you, bro? Because he looked like he was ready.
He should have been moved to 47 though. I don't know what took him so long.
He looked like he was ready to announce a fight. So I don't be surprised if you get that, because I'm like, bro, you look like you ready, man.
He might be on Zuffa. Don't be
Trees. Talk to me about Ibrahim Mason, bro. What's the word in them Ohio streets about him, man? I like what I saw from him last night. He
looked good. He looked good. He got the stoppage. He looked good. I mean, that was only his second or third fight. So
his third fight, yeah.
They just building shit. You know, like I said at the Jackson 5 of boxing and shit like that. Tito and Jermaine fought on the card. That's how I look at it. And then Michael closed the show. But yeah, man, they look good out there. I like what I seen. They got solid boxing skills. They all taking the shit serious. You can tell that they pops. Shout out to his pops too. Shout out to
talk about Mason. That, man. The system, the Mason system. They got a little brand going on right now. Like they official, like they got it. They're consistent right now.
Yeah, man. But I like what I saw, man. Valiant Mason, he was giving. We was watching him coaching shit in the corner with Abdullah. You could tell that. I'm like, damn, okay. They saying what to put that body work came into effect. You feel me? That shit. That's what really slowed us down, man. That body work. That shit got nasty in there. I said, God.
Were you seeing that developing though? Like, was there any point as you were watching the fight that you were like, hey, like Albert, man, yo, you're winning these rounds, but he's touching you to the body at the same time. I need you to get up out the.
That's exactly what it was. I started like it was around about round 7 and 8. I'm like, okay, fuck, we starting to fade a little bit. I see it. I see that short notice shit. The fact that we had never been 12, I'm starting to see it catch up to us. And then he started working the body. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then the ref, because I peeked at the ref at first, we was getting our tie-ups off. And then all of a sudden, the referee taking a little longer to get in there and break the action up. I'm like, God damn, here, okay.
They're letting Abdullah get off, right?
Yeah, they letting him get off. I'm like, oh shit, okay, here it go. This is boxing at work, okay. And and then I'm like, but yeah, man. But my guy Albert Bell, he boxed smart, man. He was employing the right tactics. Like I say, the people I was sitting there, I was in enemy territory. I'm the only motherfucker in there with that Albert Bell shit going. The seats that I had was pretty good too. I'm right in the front row of the at the first upper bowl or whatever. So I damn good seats. These motherfuckers all over me, gang. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, see, but we boxing though, we here. Because motherfuckers was talking, they about to get knocked out in the 6th round.
Who's the enemy section? Is the enemy section Cleveland fans?
Yeah, man, it was all man. It was a lot of people from Toledo that came down, but I ain't sit with, like, I just sat where the fuck I picked the best seats. I ain't sit where Toledo section was. I ain't got time for that shit. I'm trying to get good seats, good sight lines. You hear me?
Hey, talk to me about Tiger, man. What you thought about Tiger? What you saw from Tiger?
I like Tiger Johnson. He looked good. I wish that he would have closed the show though. That would have made more of a statement. I thought he looked good though. He was boxing good. I think we need to step him up in some competition. That was an undefeated fighter that he beat and shit like that. But I don't know. We got to get that Polanco shit popping off. It is what it is. Not like now at this point, we need to get him that Polanco fight. I need to see him with somebody with a name that we recognize. Like, fuck it, Brian Norman, where he at? Let's get that fight going. Like, it's time.
Yeah, Brian Norman done with that. Brian Norman doing that. He trying to jump into a conversation right now. He waiting on Devin Haney to make a decision on what he about to do.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to see. But I would like Tiger Johnson to get a higher profile fight though.
I think Polanco Tiger Johnson is a barn burner. I think that's a main event. I think that's a headline card for a Saturday night card. That's a main event. Tiger Johnson versus Rohan Polanco.
Or a co-main. Somebody's always got to go with the championship fight on top. You know what I mean? It is
a good co-main too, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so. I'm telling you, y'all sentencing him to death fighting Polanco, bro.
Ain't no sense.
Guys, I don't know about that.
Boxing, man. You either ready or you're not
got to
ready,
show something, man. Who the fuck Polanco been fighting? We need to see something,
about that, bro. It's the I don't know if he got the punch resistance for Polanco, man. That's the problem. I don't think that he can't outbox him. It's just if he get in there and Polanco put that pressure on him, man, it's over, bro.
Well, you got to see, man. I would like Tiger Johnson, like I said, just get him a higher profile fight, though. I like what I seen, though. He was boxing, he looked good, and I know them hometown fights be a little
spooky. Trace, I got to ask you, man, why were you guys booing so hard?
Y'all were doing my God.
Because he was bullshit. Because he was out there bullshitting, man.
Nah, bro, y'all was diabolical.
Nah, man, he was out there bullshit. I ain't gonna lie,
he said he was shoot shit, Clay. He said he was shoot shit.
Cleveland was running down on my guy. They didn't give my guy no love, bro.
I like Shushu. I even bought his shirt, man. I bought a Shoe World Order shirt while I was there. Shout out to Top Rank with the merch, man. I had to get some merch, but he was out there bullshitting. I'm not gonna lie. Motherfuckers was out there I'm like, damn, I'm getting drowsy watching this shit. For all the shit that he was,
bro, you guys just weren't paying attention, man. It was a great fight going on, man.
That was the problem. That was the problem. We was paying attention. That was the problem. For all the shit that he had. He was talking at the weigh-in, man. He was talking crazy at the weigh-in to have a performance like that. The way he was talking, we expecting, you feel me, for you to get him up out of there.
Yeah. Something happened, man. Shoot, something happened. He ain't going to. He too prideful to speak on it. Something happened, man. You know what I mean? Something happened, man.
Somebody said he got his rib broke, bro. I think he was just.
I'm talking about before that. He just wasn't.
I know. I think he had a bad weight cut. I think he looked like he was
maybe
not.
I was thinking that too.
That's what it is. But
I thought it's been time for him to go up because motherfuckers don't realize that
he's a big.
He's gonna be 30, man.
A big dude. That's my thing. I was just about to say people don't realize that he older. Like he got a young energy about him, a young baby face about him. But the motherfucker like 28, 29. He's older and he's a vegan. I don't think he's been going. He's been vegan to make that weight. Like he switched up his whole diet.
He's been vegan for a while.
To make that weight.
That man don't even eat eggs, bro. He don't do nothing. He don't do.
Eggs. I don't eat eggs.
Dairy. He don't do nothing.
But he switched up his whole dietary plan to stay at that weight. You feel me? I feel like his energy.
Yeah, Carissa was doing that for a while too. She was doing that shit to fight at those lower weight class. She was vegetarian, vegan. Exactly. Mike Tyson said he had to go vegan in order to make the fight happen with Jake Paul.
Exactly. Shout out to the queen of the Midwest Mafia. Can't wait to check her out August 15th, man. Fuck around and might slide down there just to see that circus. You feel me? Ray J versus Orlando Brown. That's a big fight, guys. That's a big
crazy.
Fight.
What?
Yo, I think Orlando Brown might get him, bro.
Ray J ain't wound tight enough, man, to be fighting nobody, bro. And I know for a fact, I know Ray J's history in Los Angeles. Like when I was in the military, I used to be in Los Angeles all the time. I got a lot of people in LA, and I know his history. Like I know that Ray J is a connected person. Like ever since he's been young, Ray J's a legitimate. I don't want to put his bit. I mean, he a legitimate affiliated person since he's been young, like real talk, you know what I mean, on that WAC 100 level shit, on that Paru shit, you know what I'm saying? So I know, but he's been protected, bro. He ain't a wild dude. He ain't like that. He ain't throwing them hands like that and doing that. So when he jump up in these situations, in these fights, he's gonna continue to get exposed. He's gonna continue to get exposed, and I think Orlando a little bit like that, bro. I think Orlando Brown a little bit like that, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think
a little crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I think he's gonna get on him.
Yeah, you saw how he slapped him with the money, bro.
That was crazy. Bro. Slapped him with a bankroll. Shit, crazy.
That boy, he said that boy done slapped me with some money.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Treated him like a stripper, bro.
He said that boy done slapped me with some money. That's crazy. I don't know why I let that slide. I'm like, I don't know why you let it slide either, bro. He hit you with the while you were talking, everything. All of that. Crazy.
Hey, Clay, I appreciate you having me on. Ray, Trace, man, peace out, guys. But hey, man, it was a great night of boxing. Great showing from Ohio. Great TNT production. Crawford and the crew, they did their thing, guys. Crawford and the crew. And they did their thing yesterday, man. Besides that, man, peace out, guys.
Salute, HO.
Shout
hey,
out
guys,
to you,
it is about that time, man, for me too as well, guys, man. We've been up here for 3 hours, man. That's good enough for me. I got to get ready for other things I got going on in the evening. You already know it's the beginning of my week. Shout out to the third shift.
ATP, appreciate the platform, gang. Shout out to my guy Albert Bill. We ain't forgot about you, gang. We'll never throw you away, man.
He good, bro.
You got you, bro.
Yo,
talk to your guy, man. Tell me
bro.
you want the interview, man. See if he'll come through, man. Show some love, man.
Bet.
Yo, listen, he got it, Trace. I'm gonna let you know, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't write people off because they lose. Any was like a last minute of replacement. So I mean, it goes a long way off a long layoff like that. And you got to salute that dude, bro.
Like I said, we was winning until we wasn't, man. But we'll be back. We're gonna get an opportunity. We got to. Y'all be cool, man.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah. Peace. Yeah, Ray. That's another one in the books, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Hit the like button if you haven't done it. Show some support to the channel, man. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that,
Discord.
Man. And subscribe to the Discord, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the new subscribers. We got a couple of new subscribers today, about 10 or so, 10, 15. I don't know. We got a couple of subscribers. And shout out to everybody, man. We building, we moving forward, man. Until the next one, it's that ATP. We out.
Sure.
Hold up, yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well, a penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy, the richest got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me, putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish, consumers find a way inside your business. Babylon, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know.